And now, Jason Brett presents Friday Night STREAMAROONOOS.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Friday Night STREAMAROONOOS. Today, I have a very special guest. Today, he's one of my closest friends. I've known him for a good 14 years, ? His name is Fraser. You would know him as a YouTuber and Twitch streamer as RAMHAMMER. He's one of my longest supporters of my channel. So, yeah, please welcome RAMHAMMEROONOO. Noosh.
Hello.
Hello, we meet again, Mr. Bond.
I have a cat, otherwise I would do that for sure.
Fraser, man,
Yes,
how
Mr.
you
Bond.
doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm doing good. Like, I look forward to every Friday because I love doing these streams.
Hell yeah, it's Friday night.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
Certainly
We have
is.
3 people in the chat currently. Thank you so much for jumping in. We have Roy Cropper. He's a new. He's apparently a big fan of me. He says, "Hi, Jason. Me and Haley say hi." It's weird when someone says I'm a big fan because, it's just really strange because I don't know how to take that because I appreciate it. It's really cool.
Yeah, of course. Roy Cropper, what like Coronation Street, and isn't his wife called Haley in that as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hi, Roy.
Hi.
I like your cafe.
Yeah, he's a big fan. He's a big fan. I thought Haley died, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, she died. Yeah, I'm fairly sure she died. Sorry for your loss, mate.
And
yes.
he's gone. And he's gone.
Why?
Because it's a troll, mate. It's a troll. Isn't
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
We have
trolls.
we have the legend that is Scott Tobin, my good friend. Thanks for joining the stream, dude.
Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it.
Scott is a legend in the community. He's such a top dude, honestly. We have another legend, just full of legends in this stream today. We have Phil 4K Baker. He's been a great supporter of the channel, so thanks so much. He says, "Evening, Jason and RAMHAMMER. New sub coming soon." So
thank you. Appreciate it. We're gonna try and get to 50.
Because I am to the 50s.
Yeah. I'm so behind all you wonderful people. I'm jealous. I need to make more content. That's probably why I fail miserably. And keep a consistent, a very consistent streaming schedule, full of all the horror, wonderful games.
You're having a break this week, though, right? You had a break this week.
Yeah, I was doing some writing, not with this guitar, with the other ones in the other room. But yeah, having like a writing break. But I'll be back on Sunday and playing more Darkwood just to finish that off. Although I'm 16 hours in, and it apparently is a 51-hour average playtime for that game, so it's going to be a long haul for sure.
So yeah, I've watched some of your playthrough of that, and I literally I feel like it's literally like dog murdering the game.
Dog murdering the game.
It's literally because whenever I watch you play, you're like, "Oh, fucking dog!" It's like another dog died.
There's always some dog being murdered. Yes.
We have Last Chance Ches in the chat. Thanks for joining the stream as always, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Phil asks the question that I'm kind of like struggling what version I want. I don't know if you know, but it's Arrow Video are releasing Dune. And they've got 4 editions. They've got a regular Blu-ray, regular 4K, a 4K steelbook. Then they've got this ultimate like collector's box with a 4K and Blu-ray and steelbook and so
is
awesome.
This for the is this for the new Dune or is this for the old one?
No, the original film.
The original. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Which I've not seen, but I'm probably going to pick this up anyway because it looks cool. because I'm a nerd like that. I'm a packaging nerd, man. When something
Yeah,
looks
of course.
nice.
Like, you really got me on. You really got me onto the some of the Arrow stuff, and what was the other thing you got me onto? Oh, and the premium collection stuff from HMV, because I obviously bought Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans on those, because again, like some of my absolute favorite films. So,
yeah, the what do you call it? The premium collection has some really great titles. A lot of classic titles on that label. Like they said, like Clash of Titans and Jason the Argonauts, probably the two best versions of those films you can get on Blu-ray anyway. They've got like stuff like King Kong and Kroll, and yeah, I just love the uniformity of.
I haven't watched Crow in years.
I watched that like about a few weeks ago, and it's still a really fun adventure movie. I really like that film.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's good.
You know what? I get
You're lost.
No, it's like so I look at someone's name and I go, "Are they a troll?" I'm not sure because I'm like,
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay. Last Chance Chess says from one guy who's a former partner on Mixer and recently started streaming on Twitch myself. Hey, Ramhammer.
Hey, man. I'm literally going to go on Twitch right now and give you a follow as well. If you're doing the same, I am very appreciative of anyone on the platform.
Yeah.
And
Scott just said he just subbed you.
Oh, legend, absolute legend.
Phil echoes what I think we all think, which is Harryhausen rocks. He's a master, absolute master of what he does.
Absolute legend
of what he did. Should I say?
Yeah, absolutely love that man.
I generally just love stop motion in general. I think stop motion is such a cool looking animation style. I just think it looks cool.
It's got a mystique to it. Like, it's very. I think it's just because, again, like, it reminds me, watching Jason the Argonauts was like a thing that I did when I was really, really young, and it's it just, watching that sort of animation style just makes it just immediately kind of like it tugs at that part of me that's like obsessive mythology and really nerdy stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I love watching like how they made it, and then watching like behind the scenes stuff, and just absolutely adore that.
There's one film I saw. It's a fairly recent animated movie that I absolutely fell in love with. It's called Cubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, I've seen that. That's really good.
And there's a bit in it where they're fighting this big like skeleton monster in this cave. I'm just like, is that stop motion? And then at the end credits, you see them actually building it and actually animating it. I was like, fuck me, it's all fucking stop motion. Yeah, that film is unbelievably good, I think.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. I mean, I didn't really have much expectations going in. I just remember hearing about it, thinking the art style, and then giving it a watch. Maybe I think like a year after it came out, and going, holy shit, that's really good. Like, really,
it's really dark as well. It's got a dark subject matter to it.
Love a dark animated film. Like, anything that's done that way, it's just does it for me. I think that's just me, like. Growing up watching stuff like Black Cauldron and being like terrified of the villain. Awesome. He's awesome.
Awesome film. I forgot to ask before we went live, but I'll ask now. How long can you stay on for? What time would you preferably want to finish? I ask because everybody's going to say, if eventually someone's going to ask, are you gonna beat the 8 hour 21-minute record that's been set? And I'm just like, I don't think people want to do that anymore. It's fun, but it fucks me up for the weekend.
The longest I've streamed was for 4 hours, and that was literally just after I started playing Resident Evil Village. So I think 4 hours is my limit. I won't be doing 4 hours tonight, so we'll say, let's see. Question already. Are you doing an all-nighter? No. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But I'm expecting at least a couple of hours.
just going through some people. Sorry, go on.
FYI to people in chat, me and Jason have been known to talk and like on chat online for silly amounts of hours into the early morning hours. And usually it would come along with, like, back in the day, we'd go to his local supermarket and just buy so much food, and then just watch a whole bunch of movies in his front
good
room.
times, man. Fucking good
And then,
times.
like, I remember like watching. I remember one time watching. We watched a bunch of them, but I remember specifically watching Gremlins 1 and 2 back to back.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, and then it got to like 8 in the morning. You're like, I'm going to bed, and I was like, okay. And I stay up a little bit longer.
I'm sure I swear there was like on, I think it was like a Sci-Fi channel. I remember, I swear this happened. It was like double bill. It was Ginger Snaps and Ginger Snaps 2 back to back.
Yeah, I vaguely recall that. Yeah, I regularly recall that.
Those are pretty underrated werewolf films, to be fair.
The yeah, I'm fairly sure the first one I really liked. The second one, I know I've seen this. I know I've seen the second one, but like I can't remember anything about it.
Yeah,
I just remember like I didn't like it that much, so it couldn't have been that good. So
just saying hellos, just saying some quick hellos.
Yes,
hello, Melody. Thanks for jumping in. It is the bullet of the Blu-rays. Pete, thanks for jumping in, my dude.
Welcome.
You probably know, Fraser. I met up with Pete a few weeks ago. We went.
Yes.
I had a road trip down to Bournemouth and met a few guys. It was a really good day out. It was awesome.
I was a big fan of that video. That was a lot. That sounded like a lot of fun.
It was just shenanigans, pretty much just all day long, just shenanigans.
That's what all good videos are.
And the plethora of small man jokes towards me. Because of course there is. What's
new? We've been doing this for years, mate.
Well, Pete's about 7 foot tall, so there's that.
He's 7 foot tall.
He's literally a giant.
He's wrestler height, mate. Like
Playtendo guy says, "Hi, Jason and Ramhammer. How are you doing? We are doing well. I'm good.
Great, thank you, mate. Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Bit tired, but working days, finishing at 5 and still being tired, even though I'm working from home. But other than that,
you better not be tired. We've got another like 9 hours to go. You slag.
Oh, I got to do a trip down to Uckfield tomorrow as well. So that's gonna be
Where's
fun.
That?
It's near Brighton, like kind of near Brighton. Because I got to go pick up a snake. So I'm.
You actually getting your snake finally?
Yeah, getting him tomorrow.
That's taken a long time. Your little noodle, yeah.
Yeah, my little noodle boy. I'm gonna become a snake father. It's just making me laugh every time I think about like him, and he apparently is very sassy, which I'm quite happy about as well. I didn't want like some docile sort of like right, mate. I want him to be like get up in my business and like what you doing? Get out of my cage. It's my cage. Anyway,
you're getting all the love tonight. Phil is sub to you, dude.
Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate it.
And Pete, the bullet has sub to you as well.
Rami Boyo. Please always call me that from now on. I love it.
Awesome.
But yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Playtendo guy asks a question. What games are you playing at the moment? I'm still playing Yakuza Like a Dragon and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Ooh, okay, cool. You can start. You're only just playing a few bits and pieces now. You haven't played it in a while, have you?
Yeah, I like it's one of those things where I just lulled, where I just literally didn't play nothing. And then when I found out my TV was 4K after about 6 years, I know, kill me in the comments, whatever. I obviously been getting into 4K movies, but then I thought, I wonder what games are going to look like upscaled on my TV. Sure. So I've been playing. Basically, Xbox had 3 months of Game Pass for £1. So I subscribed to that, and they had that new Outriders game. I've spoken about this game on the streams for the last 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm absolutely adoring this game at the moment. I'm just playing through that. I know it's meant to be like a social kind of live service game, but I'm having fun playing on my own. I'm probably going to play through the story until the end, and that'll be me done pretty much. So I'm having good fun with it. It's not the best game in the world. It's a bit jank, but I'm enjoying it. So that's all I care about.
That's good. That's good. I've just game wise, as you probably know, I've just finished Resident Evil Village on stream. I've played for it. I've completed it a second time now. and I'm attempting. I might do a third. I'm not sure. I didn't want to do like 100% on it, but I mean, other than that, I think I just started replaying Final Fantasy 15 because I never finished it when it came out, and on stream I'm currently playing Darkwood, as I mentioned earlier. Playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I'm a big fan of the whole Norse perspective on that. And yeah, I'm just waiting for new horror games. I've got like I've just bought. What was the game I literally just bought and I thought, I can't wait to play it on stream. It's another one of those VHS style games.
Oh, is it? Oh, fuck. What is it? Is it like?
It's not Murder House. It's
no,
the
it's
other
not
one.
that. Oh, they made another one.
Yeah,
They're the same developers because they made Drill Bit Massacre. Then they made Murder House. Have they made another one?
Yeah, it's the other one. It's the other one. I've got that one. I can't remember what it's called. It's something House of like Salazar or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, but same developers for sure, and it looks super spooky. So.
Awesome. I look forward to watching you shit your pants.
I'm sure everyone is.
Melody asks, "Are you neighbours, Jason and Ram Dude?" No. I'm from Southeast London, and RAMHAMMER is from North London. So
I'm from Southeast London, but I now live in Northwest London. So I mean, even though we've got the same colour walls, and his room angles one way and mine angles the other. Sorry, mine angles that way.
We're not in the same room. That's the point, right?
No. Yeah, I'm actually like Jason's just over here. Like literally, you can see him on screen. He's just over there somewhere. So you're looking the wrong way, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but there's a wall here. There's nothing here. It's just a wall.
They don't know that. Even though on your videos you can clearly tell it's that way around. But yes, go on.
Undead Sick 83, thanks for joining the stream, my dude. Always been supportive. He says, "Hello, Jason and RAMHAMMER. Just arrived. How are you both doing?"
Doing great, my man.
Can't complain.
Doing great. Yeah. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Undead Sick has actually got a really good channel. Actually, a very underrated channel. He does really in-depth movie reviews. He does like 1 hour reviews. He done 2 really good reviews that I've watched from him. Cannibal Holocaust has a great review. It was like 53 minutes long, but it's really in depth and really he knows his shit. Basically, he's got his shit together. And he did a Godzilla 2014 review, which is really good as well. So if anybody in the chat has not subscribed to Undead Sick, I highly recommend his channel.
I will be doing so. Thank you very much.
Really good. I think he's from the Netherlands as well. I'm sure he'll correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I'm sure he is.
I'd like to know where. If you are, then that's great. I mean, I'd like to know because I've been there myself. And if you're not from there, then I've not been there. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I've lost the plot.
The Notorious Bass or BASS. Thanks for joining the stream. He says, "Hi guys, how you doing?" We're doing very well, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Phil 4K asks, "What kind of snake?" He used to have a boa.
Yes, so I'm getting a corn snake. He is 5 years old. His name is Barbecue. It's currently Barbecue. I might change it to something else.
That is the best name.
But yeah, apparently he's a sassy little 5-year-old boy. I probably shouldn't have said that. Snake, sassy little 5-year-old snake boy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't edit that out for you, Fraser. I can't do it. We're live.
It's fine.
We have the person who puts magpies into movies, or does he put movies into magpies? God. Nobody knows. We have Geordie Paul with Magpie Movies. He says the magpies here fear not. I have no fear for the magpie. I have only love for the magpie. You know me, yes. Geordie Paul. Yeah, you know me, Paul.
No fear of magpies. I still salute magpies when I see them. If they're on their own. It's a superstitious thing, but you must salute every single magpie unless he has a partner, and then it's glorious joy for you. But anyway,
he subbed to you also, by the way, Fraser.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Notorious BASS or base, if you want to say. I'm going to just call him Base, Notorious Base from now on.
Okay.
He says, I like Game Pass. It's so good. I spent about 50 hours this week on the Xbox.
Game
That
Pass is
sounds-
good value. Like honestly,
Yeah.
such good value. I like a lot of these passes for like different for like different things. So I've got the Ubisoft one, the which other one do I have? The EA one. I don't have any of the console ones because I don't really play console that much anymore. I've got my gaming PC and I literally just stream here. I do have my PS4 in the other room, but that is pretty much just used for Netflix and other things at the moment. Until I get PS5 and I play God of War 2, aka Boy 2, because it's
Boy 2 Ragnarok. Is he called Ragnarok?
Boy 2 Ragnarok.
I swear it's called Ragnarok, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's called God of War Ragnarok.
No, actually, I think it's called the Boy 2 Ragnar Boy.
Ragnar Boy. Yes.
We have Gary, also known as Blu-ray Collector, in the house. Fraser, if you're looking for any films that I trapped on digital storefronts or just trapped digitally in general, he's the guy to go to if you're looking for a physical copy. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay, I've got a few in mind.
He got me a copy of Hush, Netflix's Hush.
Ooh.
Because I love that movie. I've got it on Blu-ray now because Gary was able to procure it for me. He does charge, so you know. But
you
can get them
for free.
Yeah, he can. He can get you some.
That movie was so good as well. I could not get over how good that movie was.
I was literally exhausted by the end. Like it really, like I think I've never rooted for a protagonist as much as her, and I've not hated an antagonist as much as that fucking douchebag bastard.
He was gross, wasn't
he? What a movie, man! I love that film so much. People talking about the new Dune 4K is coming out from Arrow Video. It's weird because like Arrow Video have been a bit weird. They announced early in the year. They announced a bunch of stuff early in the year, which was nothing I really cared about. But now they just seem to be throwing out just crazy good announcements. With I'm just like, looks like I'm pre-ordering that. Looks like I'm pre-ordering that. So yeah, I think they're doing good. The only thing I'm worried about Arrow is that the Hut Group, who own Zavvi, have purchased a 75% stake in Arrow, which could be a bad sign because Zavvi suck. Just so you know. so I'm a bit worried there, but that's a debate for another day, I suppose. Playtendo guy asks, what games would you like to be revealed at E3? I really hope Nintendo bring back the Metro series.
Right. Just trying to think of what I'm looking forward to. As I said before, I want to see more about God of War Ragnarok. I want to see. There's lots of games that we haven't seen for a while. I want to see more for. I want to see more of like Dragon Age 4. I want to see. I got a good one. I want to see the next BioShock. That's what I want to see. Bad.
Yeah.
Because it's been rumored for a little while. I'm fairly sure it was being confirmed now, but I'm not 100% sure. I know it's not the same team who did the original ones, but they, like it's still pretty good. We're probably not going to get. I mean, I'd love to see a new Grand Theft Auto, honestly, because it's been a while. But to be perfectly honest with you, they're just going to milk GTA 5 for all it's worth. It's the biggest money making machine ever. So, I mean, but then surely they would Grand Theft Auto 6 would be an even bigger money making machine because now they've made so much money from this one. The only problem I'm going to have is if they suddenly turn around and say, any currency you've currently bought cannot be transferred over, but I reckon they'll say you can. Your purchases won't obviously carry over because obviously it'll be different cars and different cosmetics.
Of course.
So. But yeah, those are my list, and just like a whole bunch of horror games. Like I just want like something that's a bit spooky again because I'm always intrigued to see like big. I like some AAA horror games are always good. Although honestly, the best ones are the ones that are like indie horror games. They're always the scariest.
To be fair, I am out of the loop when it concerns video games at the moment. So I don't really know what has been announced recently and what is on the horizon. Obviously, I know about Boy 2 and Horizon 2 and I know there's games coming, but I think those games are so far out at this point where it's just there's no point really speculating about those. I do reckon they're a good 2-3 years down the line. I reckon personally.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know what really is coming out. To be fair,
well, that's why I like watching E3. So
yeah, like I'm wondering whether they'll announce a new Doom at E3.
Not this early. It's too early. The last one came out last year.
Oh, did
so,
it?
It came out March last year or February last year. So they won't announce another one for another 2 years, I reckon. If they even do. I mean, they could do. I mean, the only thing that I'm going to be very funny about is if they don't have Mick Gordon doing the soundtrack again, because he obviously is now quit. He doesn't want to work with Bethesda anymore. Because they had like some differences, especially when the game came out and they mastered it a different way. And I mean, I still thought the soundtrack was great, but obviously he was not happy with that, and he decided to I don't want to work with these guys anymore. So a third game without that kind of soundtrack, I think I know it sounds really silly, but I think the soundtrack does so much for those games.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's nothing like when you get into like a new room, you're stocked in ammo, you just got to kill everything in that room in the most violent way possible, and you've got a song like BFG Division or Rip and Tear just playing like this fucking dirty 8-string riffs, just like
it's like dirty 8-string heavy metal, but with a bunch of electronic stuff in there.
Yeah,
and I think the music for the new Doom games is very unique. So I don't think I've heard anything like that outside in the general music sphere.
To me, it's like industrial tech metal. It's like it's got, it's just got like I don't know what it is. It's just got like a drive to it. I think you can get into it because you know that Doom isn't a game for for hip hop soundtracks. It's a game for just the filthy carnage. And you just want to be like, oh, this is just
the whole
taking his ghoul and just ripping him to pieces, and just
the whole idea of Doom in general, the original 1993 Doom it was all inspired by like heavy metal and hell and all this stuff, so it kind of made sense. And if you listen to the soundtrack of the original 1993 Doom, a lot of the soundtrack is inspired by like stuff like Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. And there is similarities with the riffs in some of these songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Doom. I think the new Dooms without those soundtracks would be a bit weird.
Yeah,
I don't think cinematic soundtracks would work at all with Doom personally. No. Yeah, to end this with this question, because we've been going on this for a while, I really don't know what's coming out, so I really don't have a question. I have like a fantasy dream list. Like I want a Dino Crisis remake, but I don't think we're ever going to get that personally. But,
I'd love to see Dino Crisis. But we're more likely the likelihood of us now getting a remake of Code Veronica is a bit higher now, which is good, which is what I wanted. Yeah, that's
what I want. Man. Yeah, it's the RE game that's always forgotten. I find
it's a great game.
I think it's better than Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, personally.
I think just Nemesis is iconic. That's probably why they went for that first. Yeah. And like if they're going to do them in order or do them like in a sequence, then I think this is that'll be the next one to do that. Or if they really wanted to, they could do Zero, but nobody liked Zero that much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think Zero is probably one of the weaker mainline Resi games, in my opinion.
It really is, yeah.
Last I just said the longest stream I had on Mixer was 72 hours. Wow, that's crazy. I streamed Skyrim with mods activated by chat non-stop for the last 3 days of its life. So much.
That's Iron Brew.
Oh, Iron Brew. Yeah.
That's how it's spelled on the can.
Is it? Oh, so much Iron Brew was consumed.
Good lad. I mean, like
72 hours, man. That's crazy.
A 72-hour stream. That's hardcore, man. Like really, like props to you, man. That's really good. But stream Skyrim with mods activated by chat. That must have been horrendous. Like the absolute chaos. I mean, I've seen guys do things like I've seen people do streams where it's like Left 4 Dead, but they chat pay bits to activate certain features. So they'll say spawn tank, and it'll just spawn a tank, and just stuff like that. And it's just like that just sounds like chaos, but it sounds like the sort of thing that I'd love to participate in that. That sounds really fun.
Never give chat that much control.
No.
Undead Sick says Resident Evil Village was brilliant, mate. After the horrible part 7, highly disagree. This actually felt like a Resident Evil game. Highly disagree. I've not played Resident Evil Village, so I can't comment there. But Resident Evil 7 is one of my favorite 8th generation games. Fucking, I love Resident Evil 7.
It is pretty good. The thing that I loved about 8 was just like it was the atmosphere and the vibe was hugely on point. I love like the cult horror, village horror sort of vibe, like the vampires, werewolves, blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff like that. But my worry is where they go next. Anyone want to like hazard a guess as to where they go next? Like, is it ghosts next?
There's one thing that worries me about because I haven't started Resident Evil Village yet, but there's one little thing that I watched the Angry Joe review, and there's one thing he said about it that really worries me that maybe it won't be my cup of tea. Is that he says it feels like a boss rush game where you're literally before a boss, all the in between bits are pretty much a bit meh until the boss fight, and then the boss fights are really good, but in between the boss fights it's a bit meh. Like
I didn't feel that way,
but I got to make up my own mind, so I suppose I shouldn't listen to anyone really. Just make up my own mind.
Yeah, just play it, see what you think. I loved it personally.
Notorious Base says, "My name's Alison. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too, Alison. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining the stream. Much appreciated. People talking to them. I was right. Boom. Undead Sick. I am from the Netherlands, actually. Yeah. And thank you for the comments. You're welcome, man. Like, your content is really good.
Whereabouts from the Netherlands are you from? I've spent a couple of long weekends in Tilburg for a festival called Roadburn. So I've been there a couple of times. But I'd like to know where you're from. That'd be cool. Yeah,
man. That would be cool. Playtendo Guy asks, favorite horror game?
Ooh, my favorite horror game. Like, if we're talking like one that I've enjoyed so much and I love coming back to it. Obviously I'm a big fan of Resident Evil as a series.
Yeah, same.
But straight horror. There's been a couple that are so scary to me I can't finish them, but I love them. So things like I never finished Outlast. That game scared the absolute shit out of me. Alien Isolation was amazing as well.
I love that game. That game's
I think overall though, if I was going to talk about fond memories, really good, just overall horror games, like Silent Hill 2. That's it. That's the pinnacle.
I do love Silent Hill 2.
It's the best Silent Hill game for sure.
Oh yeah,
and Silent Hill is peak horror. Like in terms of like the psychological aspects, the actual horror, the grossness, how it makes you panic, the fear. It's like if we're talking straight up horror, not really much action elements, absolutely Silent Hill 2.
When it concerns all those elements, I think the game that really made me pretty much wet myself, and I thought it was a very, very good horror game, but I was so scared to play it that I found it very unpleasant to play. Funny enough, it's a free-to-play game. Cry of Fear is horrible.
Ooh, yeah, that game is
Cry of Fear was.
horrible.
So I it's funny because I'd say that's one of my favorite horror games because it was so horrible to play. Like the first 5 minutes, you got to use a flash to get through a room, and it's got little pointers where you got to go. So you click your flash to see what's there. There's this one far away. You have to run, and as you get close to it, this big zombie head screams in your face. And literally, I threw my headphones at my screen and went, "Fuck you, game." No, literally, like fucking, my heart stopped. Like, fuck that game. It's like
I've been wanting to play that game again soon. It's got multiplayer now. It has had multiplayer for a while. By multiplayer, I mean co-op. And I really would love to get it working and get a couple of people just running through that game because it is, that's a very scary game for a free-to-play game as well. It's mad.
I'm doing my research for this next question because I have no basis of who this person is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen nothing so far. I'm looking through the films now. I don't think I've seen anything this guy has made. Film based on the films that have come out based on it. So yeah, sorry, Alison, but I have nothing for you there.
Not based on his books. The only David Wally, I think, was it The Tiger Came to Tea? Was that something to do with him? I can't remember, but that was a film. The only David Walliams thing that I've watched that I really liked was when I was growing up watching Little Britain, because that was like we used to watch it every week, and I used to go to school and we were like doing all the impressions of all the characters they did. So yeah, in terms of David Walliams stuff, absolutely Little Britain.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, sorry, Alison, I have no answer there personally. Play Tinder guy asks, have you seen the new gameplay for Horizon Forgotten West? I haven't.
Yes.
So there's a no from me.
Holy, like,
Balls.
I think thing is, right, so Zero Dawn was one of those games where I remember it coming out and I went, okay, this looks kind of cool, but I wasn't like latched onto it. And then it took me until I think it was like the end of last year when my PC packed up and I had to start, to entertain myself, like in since I was working from home, I couldn't really do anything. I was like, I'm just gonna have to buy loads of PlayStation games, and that was one of them. And I played through it, and I went, why did I put this game off for so long? Because it was absolutely outstanding. And seeing the gameplay for Forgotten West, oh my god, I need the game, and I need because it won't be out on PC for like 3 years, which is stupid. I would. I need to get a PS5 at some point just so I can play that and play God of War Boy Ragnarok 2, the second snowy hammer Thor Odin punch face game.
Odin punch face game. What a perfect analogy.
I mean, because the game is obviously going to end with me punching Odin in the face. I mean, which is like weird from a personal standpoint. I'm not going to go into this, but also just from like a gaming standpoint. I mean, he punched Zeus in the face until he died. So, spoiler alert for God of War 3.
Oh mate, that God of War 3. What a game! What a game!
That was one of the best games I played. 2010, I think, for sure. Fucking 2010, 11 years ago. There we go.
Lot of gaming talk today.
Alison, I'm the gaming boy.
I know, but even before this stream, gaming's kind of cropped up into the stream a lot more, which is cool. I have been considering adding some, not gameplay content, but game-related content to my channel.
Yeah, why not? If people like it, why not?
Yeah. Alison, I have not seen Friends, any of Friends. I'm one of those shit kids where, like, when I'm growing up in the 90s, all the big 90s shows I didn't watch. Buffy the Vampire Slayer didn't watch. X-Files didn't watch. Friends didn't watch. Yeah, you get the gist. So yeah. How about you, Fraser?
Yes, I loved it. I've watched it several times, and my favorite character is Chandler. Because his brand of sarcasm is my brand of sarcasm. So yes.
Blu-ray collector Gary says next week I'm able to get some Peter Jackson classics on order. Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste on Blu-ray. Have you both seen them? I think I saw Bad Taste years ago, and I'm talking years ago, but I have no really much recollection of it. I just remember the front cover of that weird alien dude with his middle finger up. I don't really remember the film too much, but I know I've seen it. But I must have been about like 9 or 10 or whatever. Like I was young.
Bad Taste is great. I've not watched Meet the Feebles, but it's on my very long list of films I need to catch up on. My favorite pre Lord of the Rings film that Peter Jackson did is by far Brain Dead.
I love
that film. I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah.
I remember like having that film on VHS and being like, what is this? And watching it and just I was like 12 or 13 or something like that, and I remember watching it and being like, what is this?
It's still like probably like one of the most rankest films I've ever seen. It's
They use
absolute
real
rank.
cow guts,
Yeah,
real cow innards to do the scene with the lawnmower, and I went,
yeah.
that must have stunk so bad.
Oh yeah, it must have been awful.
Yeah, like
Oh,
party's over, just fucking
but
launching into people.
it's all in the name of art. It's all great.
Yeah, of course.
Alison says, first time on these streams and it's fun. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we can bring some kind of entertainment to the masses.
Yes, to the masses. Yes.
Undead says, I'm a little bit worried about Arrow as well, Jason, because they seem to go into mainstream releases more. Cult classes seems to be pushed into the background a bit. Luckily, some good titles are coming. Yeah, I really do think Arrow Video should stick to their cult horror roots, which is where they kind of made their name. Stuff like The Burning, which I thought was dog shit, but that kind of ilk, those kind of really obscure kind of like slasher movies and those kind of stuff. I think that's where they should keep to their guns in that sense. But with the releases of like Dune coming out, and they've already put out RoboCop and these more mainstream stuff, that's where I'm gonna get a bit worried that they're kind of moving it too far away from what basically built their name up, which is a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I've only just started picking up some. I mean, I don't really have as much physical media as Jason and the rest of you wonderful people have. Just mostly because I've got so many streaming things. I'm just like, I don't really have the space nor the inclination to get a lot of this stuff. But every time I see a film series or a particular film that I know that I love, and it's in a really nice packaging, I do kind of go, yeah, I kind of want it. So case in point being stuff like the Hellraiser trilogy that they put out in a really nice sort of alternate art space. Oh, I have something very, very, very special just out of frame down here for the Harryhausen fans out there. Jason, you know what this is?
I do, yeah. I do. And it's pretty badass.
But
there.
This is a Jason and the Argonauts limited collector's edition Laserdisc. I found this on eBay and I went, this is probably the holy grail. And if I drink from it, I will never die. It won't be like Indiana Jones and I choose poorly. But I remember finding this and going, oh my God, that exists. And so this is like a prize in my collection. I don't have, so my plan is, this back wall over here is going to have some shelves. I'm going to literally put this on the shelf just so that in all my streams you see it and everyone knows that it is my absolute favorite movie of all time. So yes, there you go.
It's really cool though, man. Like I love that film as well. I love the whole skeleton bit towards the end. It's just like, destroy them, kill them all. Oh, it's so good. I love the soundtrack as well because that scene in particular, it's got this weird like, it's like bone cracking in it as well. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing soundtrack. It's just like they went all out to make that like a really big, a colossus of an adventure, as the title, as the byline says.
As some of you may know or may not know, this Saturday, tomorrow at 10 a.m. The first episode of my podcast with Mondo Chervic Movies goes live. It's called Monsters on the Loose. Speaking of Jason and the Argonauts, we do talk about Jason and the Argonauts in that episode because the first episode is going to be more of a enveloping episode. But after that, we're going to go into more specific movies with each episode. But we do talk about Jason and the Argonauts and how it's so good. I can't just like. They have one giant monster obstacle, then they have another monster to deal with, and they have the fucking Hydra to deal with, and they got their skeletons. It's almost like a boss rush, that movie, where they've got one obstacle after another, and I love that film so much.
Yeah, honestly, it's just there's nothing will ever beat the memory for my mind of when I was a kid, and they have the bit where Hercules and Hylas have just gone into the treasure hold underneath Talos' statue. They come out, and because the door obviously closed on them, and then Hercules just goes, must have been the wind. And then Talos's head just fucking screeches and turns around and looks at them. And I remember, like as a kid, the fear. You're like, oh, it's so scary. And now I'm like, yes, kill them. Like, that was like one of my favorite bits. Is that bit with Talos, just because he's so like that was a big kind of pusher for me into getting into like learning about Greek mythology, learning about the things that Hephaestus used to make, and they make obviously reference to that, like this is like the foundry of the gods, and this is the treasure hole, this is where they kept all the treasures, and it's like not real, but still, great. I loved it. Absolutely adore that film. Adore it. Yes.
Those who steal the golden fleece must die.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on. Platino guy says, my guess is many big titles like Dad of Boy 2 will be delayed till next year. I think it'll be out later than that. I don't think we'll see that game until 2023.
I think it'll be out next year.
You reckon?
I think it'll be next year. I think it'll be summer or late spring next year, personally. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Alison says, my 6-year-old loves Doom and Doom Eternal. He shouts out rip and tear when he kills the monsters.
Yes. Cool. I mean,
Alison says, Far Cry 6 looks awesome. I love the new Dash Hound companion for your character.
Yes, Far Cry 6 does look really good.
I've not seen too much about that game, if I'm honest with you. I know that I forget the actor's name, but he was in Breaking Bad. He's like the big villain.
Oh, yeah, he was in Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that guy. Yes.
Yeah. Places guy says Resident Evil 8 was awesome. The second house with the doll was certainly something.
That was no spoilers, but nightmare fuel is the only word I would use for that.
I've heard something about a baby fetus, which doesn't sound very nice. I've heard something to do with that, but yeah,
just enjoy. I'm looking forward to hearing your what you think about it.
When I get onto it, I might not get onto it until next year. No, my luck, no me. Platino guy says the Evil Within was great. Its sequel was even better. Hope to get a third one. I didn't really like the first game, so I didn't play the second, unfortunately.
I quite like the first game. I haven't played the second one yet, but it's on a list. I've got it like on my wish list on Steam. So I'm just like, I'll get around to it eventually, but it's not one I was going to stream anyway. But I'll probably pick it up when it's cheap enough. I'm fairly sure it's probably going to be like tenner now, so I probably will pick it up soon.
Okay, Undead 6 elaborates. He says, let me elaborate a bit, Jason. I think Resident Evil 7 was a good game in itself. I just think it was a terrible Resident Evil game. I had nothing that connected it to the previous games, and Village did. That's fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think that I think the only connecting thing, I mean, 7 is connected to 8, but 8 is connected to everything else. So it does kind of connect, but like in a really without 8, it wouldn't have connected as well. I mean, the only thing that connected it was Chris turning up at the end, and that's literally the only thing that 7 has in it that makes it feel like a Resident Evil game. So yeah.
Alison asks, how old are we?
I am 30 years old, and Jason had his birthday the other day. 8 days ago, over a week ago.
Week. Yeah, I'm 35 because I'm getting old.
Old bastard. That's why he's got so many grey hairs. I mean, I've got a shock of grey under my hat.
I mean, I'm embracing the grey. I'm embracing the grey.
So you should. Don't fucking be one of these guys that dyes their hair. Like, no, I'm good. I'll embrace the grey.
No, Platino guy said you should do a top 10 tag of video game genres. That would be interesting. But I wouldn't know really. Like, I guess because I've done top 10 tags before. So, just to elaborate what you mean, Platino guy, I'm guessing you mean choosing my favorite game out of 10 video game genres. I'm guessing, yeah. I think
sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Alison asks, American or British TV series? I think it depends British. I think it depends on stuff. for me.
I love a lot of American TV series, but like when I think back to things like Bottom and Blackadder and
fucking
Black
love
Books, I was like, that's more my humor. Like I like the dry sort of like just really just. I love that sort of humor. Like I like American series. Like there's a lot of decent ones, but British TV series are just like the best for me personally.
I mean, I would agree with you when it concerns British comedy shows, yeah. But
Mm.
overall TV series, I think America's got some of the best. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. There's a lot of other ones like that.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, I'm not really a TV series guy, so there's a lot I've not watched, and there's not a lot that I have watched. So, it
Yeah.
takes a lot for me to get into a TV series. I was talking to my mum about this actually, because my mum, she's been watching a bunch of stuff like Private Eye and Death in Paradise and those kinds of shows. And I was saying that I'd rather, with a TV show, I want an overarching narrative to keep me watching. Whereas a lot of these shows on British television at the moment, like Death in Paradise, is more of a self-contained incident per episode. So every episode isn't kind of linked together in any way. It's just the same characters with a different case to solve. That doesn't really engage me too much with TV. I want that overarching story that keeps me coming back to see what happens next, kind of thing.
Mm.
Like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, where the narrative is constantly moving.
Mm.
But yeah, where was we? Last Chance says, I love Man of Medan, but disappointed with its sequel, Little Hope. I've not played either of them, to be fair. I did play their previous game Until Dawn.
Yes. Same.
Yeah, which I loved. So I don't know why I haven't got onto those two yet. Maybe I should rectify that at some point.
Yeah, and Little Nightmares looks amazing. I just haven't got around to them yet. But I will eventually pick. The first one's cheap enough now, and the second one I will pick up afterwards for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say the sequel's only just come out, isn't it? Little Nightmares 2.
Yeah, it came out a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, something like that.
Going back to PS5 talk, by the way, I went into Game the other day, and I asked about PS5 and what they know as what they've been told, and they says don't expect any stock until July next year. That's what Sony has told them. Which I've heard that it's more of a chip shortage.
Yeah,
rather than anything else because of the pandemic.
It's because they decide. Yeah, it's because they decided to use the exact same chips for like a million other things that were used for a million other things. So it was a massive chip shortage. So it's something like that anyway. I can't remember exactly what it was, but same sort of thing happened with the new graphics cards as well. And it's just like if you want to get a new graphics card right now is not the time to build a PC unless you're building something that's really cheap. So.
Yeah, like I'm very fortunate that my PC is still really, really good. I've had my PC for about 7 years. I have upgraded my graphics card since then. I've got a 1060 in my machine, which is fairly old now, but like literally, I'm really surprised by my performance on my PC because I rendered a 53-minute video yesterday in about 5 minutes.
Damn.
So I was really happy with that. So
That's
I think my PC's doing all right. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm not desperate to upgrade or anything like that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Platino guy asks, have ever played Eternal Darkness? It was a Nintendo produced horror game. It was incredible. That to me is one of the most underrated old school kind of horror games ever. The Fraser it was literally old school Resident Evil, but like you jump in different time periods. It was fucking awesome.
Sounds good. I've not played that, but then if it's Nintendo, there's a bigger story behind why I haven't played that game, which I will elaborate on, I'm sure, at some point during this conversation. I've never owned a Nintendo console, and,
there's nothing wrong.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. There's nothing wrong.
No, it's more of a case of just like money and like I couldn't have everything. I could only have one thing or another. So per generation, I've pretty much only ever had one particular console with a few exceptions. But things like I was always a PlayStation guy first and foremost, and the only Xbox I've ever owned and used a lot was the 360. But No, the only Nintendo console I've owned was a Game Boy Color, and
Okay, yeah.
to be fair, I do have an N64 emulator on my PC right now because
Mm.
one of my intents for the next however long it takes is that I was going to play through all the old Zelda games and just see what I've been
Oh, yeah.
missing because the point to be made about me not owning a Nintendo console is I've never played a Zelda game ever. And a lot of people go, "What? How?" I'm like, "Well, because I've never owned a console." So
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a bit more difficult when it comes to things like playing the Wii titles because they're pretty difficult to play on a PC, I would imagine. And the same goes for the Switch one for Breath of the Wild. So
With the Wii, you can basically set it up so because there's a channel that I watch called Avalanche Reviews, and he goes through all the Resident Evil games and goes all into these different games. And he was doing some Wii first-person shooter series, but he was doing it through emulation. And he says there's software you can download that will basically trick the emulator in thinking your mouse is a Wii remote. So your mouse will act like a pointer.
I can see how that would work. I just need to set it up. But yeah, I'm more than happy to give it a go. I don't know if I'd stream that content, but it could be something. I'll just see what I want to put it out into the community and basically just ask people what they think, what they want to see from games going forward. So if you are on social media, you can search for my page, I think the best thing would probably be to join the group, which is just called RAMHAMMER, and it's the same image as my YouTube, so you can find me on there. If you do, I'm going to put some polls out just for games that people want to see me play.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be on there.
Man. Goody gumdrops.
Oh yeah.
Undead says if you haven't, you should check out the X-Files, Jason. Brilliant show and one of my all-time favorites. Just don't watch the recent new seasons.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I've been really thinking about X-Files because I know that that's going to be up my street because I like the kind of like alien kind of detective stuff. It sounds quite interesting, but it's not really detective stuff, is it? It's more kind of like because they're not detectives, are they?
They're FBI.
FBI, yeah, okay, are they FBI? Yeah, so yes, so but yeah, it does sound up my street. I know that it's got like is it kind of like a Monster of the Week show, or is it a bit more kind of nuanced than that?
There's I mean, like a lot of the shows from the 90s, there is a lot of Monster of the Week stuff, but then there's a couple of like overarching sort of like things that go on. So it kind of reminds me of like you like I'm trying to think of a good series to compare it to where they have something similar. I mean, there's a lot of series. There's tons of series that are similar. Supernatural is another one, and then you'd have something like we'll go back a little bit. Buffy, obviously, being another one, but I know you've not seen it. Charmed is another good one. Monster of the Week, but they would have an overarching storyline that would tie perhaps that character to something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So
I've not actually. I used to love Charmed back in the day, but they've revamped it, didn't they? They put out a new series.
It's awful.
My mum's been watching it. Sheila quite likes it.
It's not the same.
But I've never heard my mum ever be negative about anything. She's always like, "Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. All right, okay, cool. Glad you're enjoying it."
It's sort of like the feeling that gave me when they were announcing that they were remaking that was like, "Oh God, I hope this isn't a trend. Oh, please don't remake Xena. Leave it as it is because it's great where it is. Don't try and remake a series like that. One day it will happen, and I'm gonna be sick to my stomach because that is the best 90s TV series I've ever seen." So
this is a tangent I don't want to go on. I'm just going to say this. I'm really surprised like the current society climate hasn't deemed all these classic shows offensive in some way, because that's what we're doing in society at the moment. Anyway, it's not a tangent I want to go down. Alison asks, do you have a Switch? I did, but I sold mine, so I never played it. So
nope. I do want to get one, but like money.
Play Tinder Guy asks you, Fraser, what are some of your favourite films?
Oh, a lot of my favorite films are very similar to Jason's, minus the Godzilla I love. That's not me saying I don't like those. It's more the fact that I haven't watched them yet. The only ones I've seen are the MonsterVerse stuff. I'd say my favorite films are stuff like let me think. Jason the Argonauts is my all-time favorite. I love Lord of the Rings. I've been to Star Wars since I was a kid, but I love anything that's sci-fi. I love a lot of horror. So Halloween, Friday the 13th, Scream. I love stuff like that. I love anything that's got like an atmosphere and it's got good soundtracks. So well, you could probably see The Thing.
No, awesome.
One of my absolute all-time favorites. But yeah, I'd definitely say those are some of mine. But I like a lot of things. I'm very easy to please with films. In a lot of ways. The only problems I ever have are the only ones I don't really like, just like when films are just cheap and nasty or they're just overhyped garbage. But yeah. Other than that, like we were talking about Saw recently, and I only really like the first one. I think the rest of them are just rubbish. They're not bad. Like they're not like terrible films. I just think they're just like, who cares? Like, I mean, it's just as people refer to it, it's just torture porn. And I'm not really. It doesn't really. It's nothing good about it. I like twists. I like mysteries, and that's what Saw promised with the first film, but then just failed to keep up with on the subsequent films. So, mostly horror. I would say like 9 times out of 10, if I'm looking for a film to watch, I'll watch a horror film because I like watching murder.
Awesome. That was what a way to end that. What a way to end that sentence.
I like dead people.
Fucking hell.
Which actually reminds me of a quote from Psycho Gorman, which is like, "It'd be better if you were dead."
Oh yeah, mate, that film. It's just like they leave him behind in that little kind of like warehouse thing. It was nice meeting you. It'd be better if you were dead.
Yeah, they give too much away in the trailer for that. But honestly, that was the funniest bit in the film for me. That fucking had me cracking up. I was like, yes.
I'm a bit like I don't know. I see. I saw that last week. I wasn't sure how I felt about that film because it's way stupid. It's way dumb. You can tell all their budget went into the costumes.
Yep.
The narrative is a bit like barely there. It's just like, oh, you're this evil guy, but you're kind of like not, but you are, but yet. There's this like council of these other aliens trying to go against. It's weird. It's very, very strange movie. But it's literally like the little girl in that film. She's the star of the show. She is like the best part of that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I like the fact that he turned that other kid into like a giant fucking meatball. That really, really he turned him into a brain, didn't he?
Yeah,
giant brain. That really made me laugh. He's like,
oh,
that was good.
Oh, that film. Yeah, I love it where it's just like there's that thing where like it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer where she introduces Psycho Gorman to her parents, and they're like, ah! And she's like, don't worry. He's like, be worried. I'm gonna kill you. It's like fucking hell.
Yeah, that's so like. Yeah, the film promised a lot, and I thought it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but it was still fun. It was fun.
It's the way I liken it. It's literally Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but for adults. It has that vibe.
Yeah, kind of.
It's proper. It's got that 90s cheese to it, I think.
Yeah, it's the over the top costumes. They literally look like some of Rita's monsters, but just ridiculous. But yeah,
it's great because like you can as well. I think the costumes all look great, but you can tell what is that noise?
What noise?
It's like bah, bah, buzzy noise going on.
No idea. I didn't hear anything.
What is going on?
Oh, I know what it is. Cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything.
But it's really cool that those costumes. You can tell that's where all their budget went. I think you can tell, but you can tell their costumes are so well made. the actors could barely move their mouth when they talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
I'd say if you want like a raunchy, really silly Power Rangers knockoff, I think it's really fun.
Power Rangers knockoff. Yeah,
But it's literally got no Power Rangers in it. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Undead says Ray Harryhausen is number one of the big masters of Hollywood, of old Hollywood. Ramhammer. Jason and the Argonauts is an amazing film. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. A big fan of his career. Big fan of a lot of the movies he's made. Not so much for like the old B movie stuff he used to do, but like Sinbad, Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts. Yeah, big fan.
I really recommend 20 Million Miles to Earth as well. That's really good.
Yeah, again, another one on my list.
The creature in that, I forget how you pronounce its name, but it's got a weird name. The creature in that, the stop motion is fucking unbelievable. Especially if you consider it like from the time it came out, it's so cool. Playtendo guy asks, favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game? For me, it's either Sonic 2 or Sonic Mania.
2.
Yeah, for me, it's probably Sonic 2 and Sonic Adventure 2, because I played the shit out of that when I used to have a Dreamcast as a kid.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think Sonic Forces that came out a few years ago is criminally underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Sorry, that's not a bad one. I played through that with my brother when it came out on PS2, so that was good. So Sonic Forces? No, sorry, not Sonic Forces. Sonic Heroes. I was thinking of. No,
that's a good one as well, though. That's a good one as well.
Yeah,
I think Sonic gets a bad rap. I think
to be fair, like when Sonic is bad, Sonic is bad. Like like Sonic 06. Was it 06 was the really bad one when like he fell in love with a human woman. And like,
bestiality alert, fuck me, Jesus
and
Christ.
on top of that, like just the game was like poorly optimized. Like you'd run off the map some places, and like nah.
It takes about 2 years to get past a loading screen.
Oh, is it that slow? Jeez.
Yeah, it's really bad. Apparently, the load screens are awful, and the game doesn't even. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Yeah, the game doesn't even look that good. So people are like, "Why is it taking so long to load?" But the game just looks like shit.
It's loading garbage. Lots and lots of garbage. I just think, honestly, any game with Shadow the Hedgehog in it needs to get in the bin, because Shadow the Hedgehog is just why. Anyway, I'm not going to go into my rant about him.
Last Chance just says, have you seen Sonic Colors is getting a re-release on the Switch? Yes, I've seen that, and it's about time, because Sonic Colors is one of those rare occasions where Sonic was fucking really good. And everyone forgets about it because it was a DS exclusive, so everyone forgets about that game.
I've never even heard of it, honestly.
Probably because it was on Nintendo DS and no one played it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the DS didn't do well. It's just like people like, I guess, like me that only didn't really care about portable gaming didn't play it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that sort of thing.
But yeah, I think it from what I have seen of it, and I've actually, I think my ex-girlfriend had a DS and had it, and I played a little bit. It's old school Sonic. It's really good. My good friend, a supporter of the channel, Luke, is in the chat. Thanks for joining the stream, my dude.
Thank you very much.
Jason, mate. I'm here, so I'm a bit late, mate. Been up the shops, just got back from the shops. Good-o. Well, you know how it is these days. You're never too late for this stream because we're about 4 years behind the chat as it is. So, all good, mate. All good. We're about half an hour behind the chat because
we're about 20 minutes behind the chat. We're good.
Well, 20 minutes then. Yeah. Anyway, replying. Okay, yeah, Jason, a favorite game for each genre. All right, okay, yeah, the top 10 tag thing. I think it would be an awesome idea. Would certainly be up for doing that. Yeah, I don't know how it would really go on my channel, considering my niche is more movies, but I'm always up for seeing if experimenting with other content, see if it works. Like the podcast, this podcast coming out on Saturday might crash and burn. But will I stop doing it? No, I'm not going to. I mean, like me and John, we've already planned like the next 2 episodes already, so it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to getting on to that podcast, and hopefully it take off and people will enjoy us chatting about monster movies.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I'm guessing. Yeah, so Playtendo guy says Argos has been having odd stock in every Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the past few weeks concerning the PS5.
Nice. I'd
Cool.
like to get one. I might have.
I don't have the money to get one, unfortunately.
No, I don't really either. But I can fabricate the money.
I am a bit
Selling
over it.
kidneys.
To be fair, I am a bit over it. To
Well,
be fair,
like I said, it's just where I want to get. There's some games I want to get that just that are coming out on the console, and I feel like if I can preempt it a little bit, then maybe I can beat a rush when the game comes out. But who knows? Who knows?
yeah. Luke says, been watching Big Little Lies TV show today and finished watching season 1 and loved it. Really good show. On to season 2 now. And started watching the new series on Prime today. Panic, really good too. Not seen any of those.
No, I've not seen either of those either. Last couple of things I watched was Invincible on Prime. It's a TV series based on a comic book, which was awesome. And subsequently, I also watched Jupiter Ascending on Netflix, which is another TV series based on superheroes. Big on the superheroes. And those were pretty good, but I'm just at the moment. I think I'm just waiting for the next TV series to watch, which will probably be Marvel's Loki series. I will be watching that when it comes out, probably on the weekly, because it does sound and look very good. And the last two TV series they did were absolutely fantastic. So,
yeah, the only TV show that I'm waiting for is Godzilla Singular Point, which comes out in June. And I'm not even going to be getting Netflix. I'm going to nick my sister's Netflix login details to watch that.
You bastard! You are
you
are what is wrong with this country.
I doubt it very much. We've got a prime minister with fucking weird hair that does that job. Anyway, I'll get into that. Yeah. The state of his hair is the state of this country, mate. Playtendo guy says, I've been a Nintendo gamer since the Game Boy Advance days. I started with PlayStation in 2014 and been enjoying their content since. My YouTube name is a mix of PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah, I figured that was why you were called Playtendo.
We figured it.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you probably were playing Nintendo consoles when I started as well, because, like I said, I got a Game Boy Color. I think not long before the Game Boy Advance came out. And to be honest with you, the only games I played on it were like Pokemon Gold and I had an Aliens game on it, but I can't remember what it was called, and some other bits and pieces. But yeah, cool. And the PlayStation started in 2014. Was that PS4? Because I think that came out 2013 or 2014.
Yeah, it would have been PS4.
Yeah, good times. I did really enjoy that generation.
Yeah. Alison says, asks, what are your plans for tomorrow?
Getting my snake.
I have no plans for tomorrow. I live a boring life.
I am obtaining my snake, and I'm going to bring him home. I'm going to show him his new home, and he's going to love it. And then I'm probably going to eat until I burst, and then watch some movies. Probably. No, I've got some music to write. Basically, is probably what I'll do tomorrow evening. So
cool.
But other than that, then
goody gumdrops. Playtender guy says, have you ever played Deadly Premonition?
Yes.
Easily one of the greatest bad games of all time. It's incredibly strange. I love that game.
The game is very good.
I absolutely adore it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But it's jank as all fuck, but it's so much fun.
Pardon me.
Apparently the sequel was completely broken when it came out on Switch, because it's exclusive to the Switch.
All right. I've not played the. I've not played. Well, obviously, I've not played the sequel then. But yes.
Yes, mates.
Yes, mates.
Yes, dickheads. What the fuck, mates? Undead says, with the X-Files, you have a large overarching main mythology story that is actually intersected with monster/case of the week episodes. Cool. maybe that might be my jam then, because if it's got cool monsters and things like that, it'll definitely be my jam. Because I like monsters. If you haven't realised by now,
You'll like the X-Files. It's great.
someone spelled your name wrong, but they don't know how you spell it, so it's fine.
How?
So it's fine. President Tinder guy says, Fraser, what's your least favorite Star Wars film?
Solo. Oh god, there are not enough words in the English language to describe how much I hate that film. And closely followed by Last Jedi, but obviously me and Jason have spoke at length as to how much we dislike The Last Jedi.
Where's my fucking sick bucket?
But Solo is the worst Star Wars film ever. I would rather watch. Oh god, I don't know what I'd rather watch. I'd rather watch Troll 2 over and over again for a year than watch another sitting of Solo.
And I haven't watched Solo based on his opinion, so
it's
knocks my mic everywhere.
Like if I could get those hours back, I would be the happiest man alive, and I would die happy. Unfortunately, I cannot get those hours back because Disney stole them from me. Disney stole my time again.
Look, don't get me started on Disney, please, because we'll be here for a long time. Anyway, Playtendo also asks, what game do you class as overrated?
An overrated game. What would I consider to be an overrated game? I mean, there are types of games that I don't play based on them not being my kind of thing. So like sports games, I wouldn't call them overrated because obviously it caters to a certain type of fan. Mm-hmm. However, if I think about games that I do like and people say they're overrated, I mean, horror games, I'd say Five Nights at Freddy's is overrated.
Yeah,
I think it's just cheap jump scares and nothing more than that. And it's like, cool, yeah, that's something scary, but it's not really. I'm
gonna throw one. I'm gonna throw one out there.
I swear, if it's gone.
What was you gonna say?
I'm gonna literally see this little crack in the window here. This one here. I'm gonna fire a gun out that window. Fire off into the distance. It might hit you based on what you say.
Is it basically like you're the perfect shot?
Of course I am.
Why don't you have a marksman job? What's wrong with you?
How do you know that?
Secret marksman.
This is my
anyway, I was going to say, I generally think one of the most overrated games I've ever played is Destiny.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got good shooting mechanics, but the game overall is just
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for what I played, but it wasn't all that. I wouldn't say it's overrated though. I'd just say it was just like
I've got another one.
Oh god! Hang on. Let me just cock my pistol and get ready to.
This is gonna piss off everyone. I'm probably about to lose about 10 subs, but I'm not a gaming channel, so I don't give a fuck.
100 subs.
I generally think the Phantom Pain was super overrated. It got like 10 out. It literally got 10 out of 10s everywhere. I'm just like, why?
I don't think anyone disagrees with you. Anyone who's a Metal Gear fan will go, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I played it last year, or was it this year? I can't remember. It was last year, I think. I played through that, and it's just like cool. I like the gameplay. The gameplay is good, but the story was meh. The world was meh. Just like, loads of fetch quests. I'm like, it's Metal Gear. I don't want quests. I want a story. I want like an espionage story, and I want weird shit to happen. And like, yeah, there's weird shit, but like, it's not weird enough. It's not like, it just makes me mad. Like, I wish I had my time back. And I wish I could have played Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3 back to back over and over again until I allotted the same amount of time. Yes. I would agree with that. I'd say that's pretty overrated. But I think I think it's critically overrated. I don't think it's like from the fans. I don't think the fans think it's overrated. I think the fans probably go, well,
Yeah.
not overrated, but they probably don't rate it highly to begin with. I think only a few of them would go, it's really, really great until you get to the story, and then the story's just meh. So that's the whole thing
Yeah.
about, like, oh yeah, we had to hire Kiefer Sutherland because this isn't a real Snake. I'm like, no, you wanted to hire Kiefer Sutherland because you wanted a big name actor to put in your fucking game. Even though David Hayter is Snake.
Yeah. Definitely. 100%. Definitely agree. Anyway, shall we move on? We have Jake Talks Movies in the house. Hello, Jake. Thanks for jumping in the stream. Appreciate it. Are you getting Super 8 on 4K? I am not. I couldn't really care less about that movie, to be honest with you.
It was okay. I went to the cinema to see that, and it was all right. It wasn't anything special.
Not worth the 4K purchase, in my opinion. I didn't enjoy it enough to purchase it on 4K. Platino guy says Shadow the Hedgehog isn't that bad. At least he isn't Big the Cat. Fucking hell, Big. Oh no.
No, I'd rather Big the Cat than Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog's just a big edgelord.
Oh my god, he's like a super elite of edgelords.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not even gonna pretend to do an impression of him, but he's awful.
Did you ever play his actually like solo game? Where he's
yes,
got a machine gun?
I own it. It's in the next room. It's the shame of my collection.
Fucking awful. Playtime guy also says any Amazon bargains you've picked up, guys. Heard they've had some great deals. Yeah, Amazon's been all over the place with some crazy good deals today. But I waited for something that I was just like, okay, I'll see that. I need to grab it immediately. So I picked up V for Vendetta on 4K for £13. So
it's a good film. Nothing for me. All I've bought recently, I've literally just moved out. I mean, just moved out. I moved house a month ago. A month ago tomorrow, I think. And it's a lot of the stuff I've been buying is just like for the house. So I've not bought anything for myself. The last things that I bought on Amazon that were like just for me was like some Arrow stuff. So I bought like the Arrow collection of Hellraiser. I bought the trilogy of Scream. I bought the Arrow Candyman as well. Because I was like, I love that film. Nice. I have to buy that, and ahead of the remake that we're getting as well, because I am very intrigued about that.
Yeah, so I might. I'm probably definitely going to go and see that. Just
out
of intrigue. Yeah,
I was like, hello, and he's like fucking covered in bees. I might turn up to the cinema covered in bees.
Don't do that. Anyway, speaking of that Scream set, you said you bought the Scream trilogy. I'm really it baffles me why they haven't released a quadrilogy or something. I'm
not sure why. I'm fairly sure they're all distributed by the same people, so I'm very confused as to that. But who knows? I'm just weirded out they're making another one now. I'm like, but everyone's old, and they want to have the same cast. I'm like, yeah, but it's just getting long in the tooth now. I can't be bothered. So yeah.
Did you hear the news that George A. Romero's wife is basically allowed a studio to make the last Romero zombie film, which he already had a script for, called Twilight of the Dead. But I think I can't remember if they had a director attached on that. I can't remember.
I mean, I'm a little bit zombied out, but I will definitely give it a go. I mean, I watched Army of the Dead the other day on Netflix. Yeah, I thought you might. It was not bad. It was nothing special. I mean, I liked the idea. It was just like when it comes to zombies, there's not much new you can do. I liked Train to Busan. That was the last recent zombie film I liked because it was zombies on a train, but it was the way it was shot that really really sold it to me. But in general, like I've never got on the Walking Dead hype. I watched 5 seasons of that show and I thought it was really boring.
Fair.
And like as far as I'm concerned, the thing that the zombies are best for now is just for shooting targets in games. If you got zombies in games, I'm cool with it because I can kill them and they're fun. But in movies, zombie movies, not really doing it for me anymore.
I think the time for the zombie genre has pretty much been done. Like I think the earlier stuff like Lucio Fulci's Zombie and the Romero films are probably the highlight of the genre. You got like Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later, which I don't really consider to be a zombie film. It's more of an infection movie. But that did reinvigorate the genre in some extent. You know,
I thought it was good.
I think that was the big boom in the early 2000s that basically made the 2000s like a breeding ground for zombie films. I agree with you. I don't think there's not much new you can really do with it. But I've not seen that Army of Dead, and I did think it looked pretty fun by the trailer.
I mean, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Jake says Amazon have some great deals on 4K at the moment. Yeah. I just can't buy anything. I bought one thing because I said to myself, you only can get one thing. Once you get that one thing, you can't get anything else. So when in my little group, when someone linked to Viva Vendetta 4K, I was like, found the one I'm going to get. So I got that one.
Yeah.
I do love that film, though. I really do love that film. Have to check out, guys. Got 2 videos to record for my own channel this weekend. Have a nice weekend and continuation of a live stream.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, Undead. Really appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Jake says that he's got a PS5. Don't rub it in, Jake. Don't rub it in, my dude.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's a 2 for $25 sale, and all the Marvel 4Ks have gone down loads in Prime. Yeah, I did pick up two 4Ks for $25. I picked up 300 in 4K, and I picked up the Joker in 4K, which is going to be fun. So I've not seen Joker yet, so that's going to be a good one to watch. Yeah, a lot of the Marvel 4Ks dropped down to like a tenner, which is pretty good. But I'm not in. I was thinking about getting them all, but I thought to myself, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to watch them, so why bother?
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but there's a couple of duff ones. I mean, what you're probably better off doing, unless you want to create a collection, is just to watch the ones that are worth watching. There's a lot of them are just not worth even bothering with because
Captain Marvel.
Well, Captain Marvel is definitely one of them. I mean, annoyingly, plot wise, it does introduce something to the arc. And I wouldn't say it's necessary. Like you could easily fill in the gaps with just looking up the information, but there's a couple that are just, oh god, just like a slog to get through. You're like, oh, I can't be bothered with this shit. But yeah.
Like I'm on the opinion that like there's a lot of people that defend the Marvel films as like they've made nothing but bangers, but they really haven't. There's a lot of kind of mediocre shit in the Marvel movie. MCU.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing is, like overall, I think it's I think the overarching story and like what they've done from start to the end of the Infinity Saga was really really good, but it's got some missteps, and a couple of them like someone go, "Oh, is it worth me watching the Incredible Hulk movie?" I'm like, "No, it's awful." Is it worth watching Iron Man 2? No, it's awful. There's so many of them I just go, don't bother. It is not worth the time. Like a couple that are really great, but overall you're best of just picking and choosing, honestly, just picking and choosing.
Big shout out to Phil 4K. He sent me a copy of Thor on 4K.
Nice.
And I hadn't seen it at that point, but I did watch it the other day, and I really enjoyed that first Thor movie. I thought it was quite fun.
It's quite fun. It's definitely got like it's very camp, but it's fun. The second one's not worth watching, but the third one is worth watching. The third one,
I loved Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was amazing. It was one of my
I saw it in the
favorites.
cinema.
Sure. Yeah. Same.
It was like I didn't expect it to be so funny. It's so funny.
No one did. Well, actually, to be
Yeah.
fair, when they announced the director, I was like, really? Because Taika Waititi, he's got a very particular sense of humor, and he doesn't really do action films. Well, he doesn't do action films as far as I was aware. And then he was like signed up for that. And I went weird, and then watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I can see it. I can see his humor now.
Yeah.
He's the guy. If you didn't know, he was the guy who voiced Korg, the rock guy. It's like, hello,
is it?
my name's
right,
Korg.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
This is
fucking...
Meek.
Oh, it killed me. Absolutely.
No, Meek's dead. I love that so much. So the hammer pulled you off. I love that. It's like, that really tickled me.
There was like, there's the bit where like Hulk goes like it's like I think it was like Valkyrie's like, what are you doing? And like Banner's like, I'm just gonna show you who I really am. He jumps out the helicopter, just hits the floor. Like I saw it in the cinema, the whole theater just laughed their head off. Like it was so funny.
It was amazing. That was very funny, that bit.
Yeah. The only negative that I have, the only like kind of like bit of criticism that I have, which a lot of people disagree with me on, is I didn't really think much of Hela. I didn't think she was anything special, personally.
Well, she could kill everyone. She was insanely powerful. No one could stop her. Apart from
I know, but I didn't really kind of like get that vibe. I just didn't think she was all that cracked up to be honest.
Yeah. She's just another villain who was easily killed by like basically a Deus Ex Machina. Yeah.
Is it? I swear it's that same. I swear Ragnarok is one where it's just like a Hulk commands like, but big. Was it big giant
monster?
Yeah, big monster.
Hulk, for once in your life, do not smash. He's like, but big monster. Yeah, very very funny.
Anyway, Play Nintendo guy asks favorite Zelda game. You don't have one. Personally,
don't know yet.
Yeah, don't know yet. He says for him, I love you, Play Nintendo guy. I like Princess. That's my favorite Zelda game. No one likes Zelda. Everyone keeps shitting on Twilight Princess. It pisses me off.
I know a lot about like the individual games and like what people expect of them or what people's opinions of those games are, because I've watched a lot of other people play them. I've watched like opinions and ratings and stuff like that. So like and when I was growing up, I did have a friend who lived around the corner from me who had an N64, and we used to play GoldenEye and Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, things like that on it. And I remember watching him play Ocarina of Time. So Ocarina of Time in my mind has this sort of like mystique / sort of almost like I don't know what you'd call it, but like it's almost like I have played it, but I haven't. Like it's almost like a fond memory. It's a very fond memory of mine. So that is one I'm very much looking forward to playing once I get around to it. But I am actually literally starting with Legend of Zelda, the very first one from 1986, I think.
NES game, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got the emulator, so I'll be playing through that.
Classic Zelda 2. It's actually kind of shit, in my opinion. Zelda 2 is not very good. Link to the Past is one of the best video games ever made. Personally.
I've seen a lot of people say that, so I'm very much excited to go through those. And like I hear things like where people say, this game gets like a bad rap, but it's underrated, and so like things like a lot of people don't seem to like Majora's Mask that much, but a lot of people go, though, it's underrated, like it's good, but like you have to be really into it. Like, okay, cool.
It's bleak as fuck as well.
Yeah. A lot of people like Wind Waker because of like the different art style and the fact that
Wind Waker is amazing. Wind Waker would be my top 3. Wind Waker is amazing.
I get the feeling not a lot of people like Skyward Sword that much.
I think, the thing with Skyward Sword is that it came out and it was like it came out on the Wii and it was strictly motion control. And it really turned off a lot of fans because it's like, I don't want this fucking motion control bollocks in my Zelda game. Get fucked, Nintendo. That's why, is because the whole motion control bullshit. But yeah, I think there's rumors of a Skyward Sword HD remaster for the Switch, which would be interesting because hopefully they'll just let us play it I ain't got a Switch, but hopefully they'll let people play it like a regular game.
Yeah, I'll be intrigued to get some collections for some of the older games, or some of those games. So yeah,
We have bled viewers. We're down to 2 people watching. So whoever's watching, thank you so much for sticking around. Appreciate it. Playtendo guy says Deadly Premonition 2 was shit. The game had a rubbish story and ran at about 10 frames per second. So literally unplayable is what you're saying. Literally unplayable by the sounds of it.
Sounds it.
Luke says that he got the 300 4K set in Cardiff in HMV the other day. Awesome. I'm looking forward to see what that looks like in 4K because I reckon it's going to look unbelievably good in 4K. But we'll see. Playtendo guy, glad I'm not the only one who hates Last Jedi.
It's terrible.
It's dog shit. It's out of dog shit. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, look how they massacred my boy.
Like, yeah, I agree with with Jake. He says it's a stunning. Last year's a stunning but shit movie. Like, I think it's one of the best looking Star Wars films ever made. The production value looks fantastic. Like,
I mean, I will say that the one thing that the sequel trilogy has going for it that the others, I mean, I say don't, but like they definitely do. Like, it's the best looking in terms of like the visual spectacle. Is the best looking trilogy we've had so far. But with I would say the prequels having the best fight choreography and some of the best set pieces going, and then with the original trilogy having just like the best story. Like, it's just very, I guess it's just nostalgic really, but it's just great characters and great stories. So yeah.
Jake says Fraser, get the sniper out. Destiny overrated. It's my favorite game of all time. That's cool, man. Like, if you enjoy it, that's all good, my friend. Like, it's all good. But I didn't get the hype personally.
I've got a sniper rifle behind there somewhere. I'll get out in a minute, and don't worry, I'll sort them out.
Oh god, I thought we had a relationship. I thought we had a fucking relationship, friends. What's going on? Why are you betraying me like this?
Jake's paying me. Money talks.
You slag Jake. Why are you paying him? Oh
yes.
Yeah, I bet you're gonna ask for his PS5 as payment, right, Fraser?
Give me at least money to buy a PS5. I'll kill him for you. Anyway,
just give me money to buy a console, and I'll murder for you. It's like, that's such a shit deal. What a shit deal. Playtendo guy says, I do like Metal Gear Solid 5, but Konami fucked up the series. Metal Gear Solid 3 was a masterpiece.
Yeah, absolute masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece.
I do feel like Metal Gear Solid 4 is fairly underrated though, because the people that I've spoke to don't really have much fondness with that game. And I really enjoyed 4.
It's okay. I mean, like, it has a few issues, but overall, I think it was okay. But I prefer 2 over 4, even though I don't like the main character in 2. Like once you get past him, it's a great game. But like, God, I hate Raiden. But like, no, 4 was decent. Like I said, it had its issues. I mean, when Raiden turns up in that game, you're like, oh my god, look what's happened to him. Is he a badass now? Kinda. Mostly he's just weird and cybernetic, and he's like, I can grab a sword with my feet, and just spin around like a nutcase. And you're like,
I think. See, I've always felt about the whole Raiden becoming a cyborg ninja is like is pretty much Konami going, look, he's cool now. Look how cool he is now. Yeah, no, it's not cool. No, don't worry, we'll make a whole game based just on him being a ninja badass. Which to be fair was actually a pretty good game. To be fair, I quite like that game.
I just don't like his character. He's lame.
The game, but I'm a big fan of Platinum Games, and I think they made a really good hack and slash game with that.
Yeah.
They've made a couple of stinkers. Anarchy Reigns wasn't very good. Apparently the Ninja Turtles game is really shit. Not played it myself. That their Transformers game they made was awesome. Transformers Devastation.
Nope, never played
It's literally Devil May Cry with Transformers. It's so good. They made Bayonetta, which is my favorite action game of all time. Bayonetta is amazing. So good, yes, mates. Played Nintendo guy says they had the 24 guy in Metal Gear Solid 5, and he hardly spoke.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, it was just a silly decision to make, honestly. But he was just, like, don't get me wrong, great actor. He's he was good star power to have in it, but like the reasoning behind it was like it just felt tacked on, and I was like, I don't know, David Hayter to the end of time, that man.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Playtender guy says, ever played the Devil May Cry series? Easily one of the best action series of all time. Devil May Cry 5 has an awesome soundtrack too.
Yes,
I've not played the new one.
Oh,
but
fantastic.
I do love the series though.
Jay, it's on the same engine as the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Awesome.
So a Devil May Cry game on that engine, obviously not the same sort of play style, but like it's a fantastic game. Like it's really, really good.
It's
the
really
only
funny.
The only problem I had with it was I saw the twist coming an absolute mile away. Like it was like, oh, of course. But the game was fun, and it was like it was a good balance of bits and pieces. Yeah, really great.
Yeah, I really do like the DMC series. Number 3 is so good. But I feel like I'm the only person that likes the actual DMC like reboot thingy.
You are the
only one. Yeah, I generally thought mechanically it was a good game. Mechanically, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Sorry, I am a child.
So am I, so it's fine. Playtendo guy says Train to Busan is easily the best zombie film ever made. I've not seen it, so I can't comment. Non-stop action, very intense, but also had a lot of heart with its characters, like the leading guy and his daughter.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. It was absolutely fantastic. I just remember watching that film and just like finishing, being like, "Oh my god!" Like that was. I've not seen a zombie film that good since probably the first 28 Days Later, and even then, I think this is better. So it's one of the best ones I've seen for sure. I wouldn't say it's, I don't know if it's the best zombie film of all time. It's definitely up there though. It's definitely way up there. But I'd have to really think about that if I was going to talk about the best zombie films ever. But it's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Does it have a sequel?
Yes, apparently the sequel is terrible. I've not seen it.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So
it tends to be the way though, right? Really, really good first outing, and then the sequel tends to be a bit meh with these kind of films.
Yeah.
Playtender guy also asks, "What is your favorite MCU film?" Winter Soldier for me, such a brilliant spy superhero film.
So
now I've not seen Winter Soldier, so there's quite a few of the Marvels I've not seen. But if I were to pick 2 that come highly, right, that I think are highly excellent, I'd say actually I've got 3 picks. I'd say Infinity War. I loved Infinity War. Captain America: Civil War. I loved Civil War. I thought it was fantastic. And in my opinion, easily the most easy rewatchable Marvel film is Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that movie. I think it's easily rewatchable.
I don't know anyone that dislikes Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just fun.
The sequel was not very good though, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was weak. Weak sauce.
We have the bounty of Dun in the chat. We have Robert Fett's bounty. Thanks for jumping in the stream, my dude.
Good evening.
Yeah, Jake echoes that. Dun. Yeah, we know. Mm-hmm. We know. We love you, Rob. We love you, right? We love you. We all love you. Dun. People talk to each other. Platino guy says, Badoosh, Skyward Sword is coming to Switch with button controls in July. Oh, that's cool. Plus, it's rumors of a Zelda collection containing Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker. It sounds amazing, But I bet you Nintendo would be like, yeah, it's limited until this time. Once it cuts to this time, you're gonna basically you can't get it on digital, you can't get it on thing. Because with fucking Mario All Stars 3D, they put that game out, and then they basically removed it from the digital storefront in March, and also they stopped making the physical. So now, unless you've got the physical, you can't get it anywhere. Really, really bad. It's not it's really bad consumer practice, I think. But hopefully I'll just like release that Zelda collection and be like, here you go, it's up forever, you can download it or buy it or whatever, because
That'd be good.
I'm all about pro consumer practices. Everyone said hello to Rob. Hello, Rob. Bloosh.
Hello.
Platendo guy says the Train to Busan sequel was average at best. Whilst fun, it felt a bit like Mad Max with zombies, but lost a lot of what made the first film special.
Okay, that sounds fair. I mean, the idea of like Mad Max with zombies does sound pretty good anyway. Especially considering that I love Mad Max. Ironically, well, I say ironically, weirdly enough, my favorite one is the most recent one because it was just so fucking good. But with zombies, yeah, I can see that. But I guess that does take away a lot of what makes Train to Busan special, because it's just like, that's great. It reminded me of another film. I can't remember what film it was. I'll have to figure out and let you know.
I take it like Train to Busan didn't need a sequel, right?
I don't think so.
It could have been like a self-contained film.
I mean, zombie films are pretty open-ended anyway. If you have like a small event happening at the beginning of an infection, which is what this is, you can easily spin that into 100 different stories. Because you also had things like there was another Korean it was a Korean film that came out not around the same time, a little bit later. I can't remember what it's called. Basically, it was it this one? Yes, it was called Alive. And yeah, literally about a streamer who's trapped in his apartment during the zombie apocalypse. That was really good.
What's it called?
Honestly, really good. Alive.
Oh, cool. I have to check that out.
It's a South Korean film. And
I'm going to recommend a zombie film
Mhm.
that I don't think many people have seen, because I just think it's a really, really good movie. You know how like the Raid created that kind of high rise, and then whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then the Dread kind of copied that and had it with Dread.
Yeah.
There's a film called La Horde. It's a French zombie movie, and it's similar kind of aspect of this high rise building, but it's zombies. It's really, really good. I really liked it.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, recommend it. Really do. Platinum guy says rumors of Switch Pro are about again, apparently with an OLED screen.
Sounds good.
I mean, they've got to do something to kind of level the playing field against PlayStation and Xbox, because
they're always behind.
They are. But yeah,
it'd be very intriguing. I do want to get one at some point. It's just, again, it's not high on my priority list, but considering the fact that upgrading a PC or buying a PS5 seems fucking impossible right now, I think I will probably think about maybe doing something like that at some point soon. Just because it allows me to play some games I've not played, especially if they're bringing out a Zelda collection. I know they did one for the GameCube, which is one of the reasons I was going to buy a Wii so I could play Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and there was another one in there as well, but I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Twilight Princess altogether. Yeah. So
Twilight Princess was a cross-generation game. It came out on GameCube right at the end of the GameCube's lifespan.
Yeah.
And then it also was on the Wii at the same time as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Robert Fitzbounty says Resident Evil Code Veronica, best Resident Evil game. You know I'm right, and it's finally getting a remake.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say
I'm very excited.
Game, but
I would agree that it's good. we're getting a remake, because a lot of the older Resi games need a remake anyway, because 2 is fantastic. 3 was good for what it was. It was just a bit too short, and I would love to see Code Veronica. Honestly, I don't think we should get 4 anytime soon, because Resi 8, well, Village, was very much like a cross between 4 and 7. So I don't want 4 yet, but I'd be happy with that. If they remake 0, I'll still buy it. And then, God, I don't think there's anything in between that and 4 that were canon. I know you can technically count Outbreak, but like nothing really happened in Outbreak story wise, as far as I remember. But I did like those games anyway. But yeah, so you'd have to do Code Veronica and 0 in between 4 if you were going to give it that long a gap.
I wouldn't even do 0. I think the problem with 0, I think is mainly I don't like the switching character aspect. I think that's balls, and I just didn't believe that the narrative of 0. All that stuff in 0 happened before 1. I didn't buy it at all.
Yeah,
that's the main issue. So I don't think they'll remake 0, because 0 wasn't that well received at all. So I don't really see them doing that.
I know that we've had a HD remake of 1, but would you like to play Resident Evil 1, but from the same gameplay style as 2 and 3 remake, with the over the shoulder? Yeah, I think I'd like to play that as well.
Don't get me wrong, Resident Evil 1 remake is in my top 3 of favorite Resident Evil games. I love it. I think it's
good.
Especially for the time. It was a remake. It's a remake of the original. It came out in 2002, I think. ? What a way to update that first game. Fucking incredible. So good.
Yeah, it's very good. I haven't finished it. I need to get on that.
This next question, it could be a long one, my dude. Thoughts on Last of Us Part 2? A lot of folks are mixed on it. For me, it's a solid 9 out of 10 game, but it did kind of drag on, in my opinion. Last of Us Part 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's one of the greatest video game sequels of all time, and I will defend it until I die. So, yeah.
I really liked it. It was a solid 8 out of 10 for me. Had a few issues, but overall, really liked it. The issues I had with it were nothing like what a lot of people were complaining about. I don't understand a lot of the issues. Me and Jason have had this. I say conversation. It was more like a rant between the pair of us about why people are hating on this game, because they don't understand how every story can't just be all rainbows and butterflies and like your favorite character gets to survive. Spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't played it yet. I'm very sorry. But this shit happens, and it's like the game's not about one character or 2 characters. It's literally about crossing pathways. It's about just because you're the protagonist in your story doesn't mean you're the protagonist in someone else's story, and you could always fuck someone else over by just doing what you want to do. So I don't really understand why it got so much hate, but I thought it was solid 8 out of 10. Not my favorite game of the year. My favorite game of the year went to Ghost of Tsushima. That game was absolutely incredible. It's the game I had been waiting for such a long time, and they finally did it. And I was like, "Holy shit, this game is amazing!" And I now want to visit Tsushima Island. It literally got me so much that it made me want to go to the place where they based it on. Even though I know that it's nothing like it used to be, I kind of want to go back in time and visit that place. But yeah, it's fictional. I will be replaying that game when I get PS5, because I want to play it in 4K, because it's outstanding outstanding on the PS4. When you load a game up and you're like, what?
But this is the thing though, right? You'll notice from my experience growing up in video games, you'll notice that some of the best games on those systems are right at the end, the tail end of their lifespan, because that's when developers have realized the tech at its most. They basically can get the most out of the technology. So games like Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, I would argue some of the best looking games of last year. Some of the best looking games. Was it last year? They came out last year, right?
They both came out last year.
Yeah, some of the best looking games of last year. The fact that I knew somebody that said, oh, Last of Us Part 2 graphics 6 out of 10. I'm like, are you high or something? Like, literally, in terms of like graphics and animation, you know, the on time of release, I would argue that Last of Us Part 2 was probably the best looking game ever made at that point. Maybe not now. Maybe there's probably better looking games that have come out since. But I mean, at the time, especially those two, both games you said were like groundbreaking in animation and graphics. Yeah,
Totally agree.
and
Yep, absolutely.
I'm just I know we've probably got a long while to wait. We probably won't get part 3 until the end of the PS5 lifespan, but I can't wait. I always find you know, there's 3 acts to a good story, and yeah, Last of Us got to have a third game. It's got to be.
Yeah,
in my
I agree.
opinion.
What I've just seen, Rob is going to bed, so we'll say goodbye now before we miss him in the.
Who's going to bed?
Robert Fett.
I don't see his goodbye message. What's going on?
He says, need to go to bed now.
Oh, yeah. Need to go to bed
Sorry.
now. I'll roll over, Paul. Final message, favorite game. Final message, favorite game trilogy, Mass Effect.
Yeah, he's agreed with you there. Oh, yeah. Favorite trilogy. Mass Effect is up there.
Gears of War was good. Gears of War trilogy was good.
Gears of War trilogy is such a good trilogy.
Bioshock trilogy. Bioshock.
It had a really weak second game.
But
yeah,
that second game super underrated, in my opinion.
It's not that good. I mean, the first one's great. I loved the third one. I don't know. I would struggle with that. Like game trilogy. How could I have forgotten? Dark Souls. Oh, what a trilogy! Even though they don't really kind of go into one into the other, but like if you're talking about a game series that there's only 3 of, then yeah, Dark Souls. There you go.
That is fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Jumping back up to where I was because I skipped a few there to get to Rob's there. But yeah, Rob, have a good weekend, my friend. See you next one.
Yes. See you then.
Playtender guy says Nintendo have always been about the games and the experience and less about specs of the system.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is true, yes. Kyle of Carlino9 is in the chat. Thanks, Kyle, for jumping in. Appreciate the support as always. He says, hi guys, I'm late, but I'm here for the night. Awesome. Really do appreciate you hanging around, my dude. That's going to be interesting. Playtindo guy says, apparently the Switch will be getting an exclusive Resident Evil Revelations 3. Interesting.
I've not played any of the Revelations games yet.
They are good, but they're nothing groundbreaking, man. Nothing amazing. I enjoyed them, but I'm not saying. Would I say you have to play them? You know, you could skip them and be fine. You know, you're not losing out on anything really. But I've got them because I'm a massive Resident Evil fan. So, don't know about a third game. I don't know where a third game would go, but you know, again, spin-offs will be spin-offery.
Yep.
Playing the guy says RE1 remake and RE2 are some of the best remakes of all time, and how you bring the game back for new generations. 100% agree.
Yep, totally agree.
Speaking about visuals, we were talking about visuals about Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. Resident Evil 2 remake looks amazing as well.
Incredible game. Looks fantastic. I mean, they went from, because like I said, the original one again is like very, very campy horror. It's it's all soundtracks and there's not a lot of atmosphere in those games, whereas the remake was like, let's dial the campness to almost 0 and up the atmosphere to fucking 20 billion. And there's just bits in that game where like you're going through like a really dark corridor and there's something shuffling around in the darkness. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Why are you? And then like it'll put you in a situation where you just like you've almost run out of ammo. You're like shit. Like they did survival horror so much justice alone, let alone Resident Evil 2 with that remake. That was like one of the games of the year for me when it came out. 2019 wasn't it? Yeah. Easily one of the games of the year for me, for sure.
Because people were surprised when they announced Resident Evil 3 remake and it came out like about a year afterwards, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it came out March last year, so I played it on my channel
Yeah.
on YouTube. On YouTube, if you haven't clicked on my YouTube already,
Go and subscribe to my buddy Ramhammer.
it's
I-
a nice.
I did check, and you've gone up. You're at 43 subs right now. Boom.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. That's at least 10 more subs than I had yesterday. Thank you
It's
very much.
crazy because
I really appreciate it.
I've been trying to like shout you out when I can and try to help you get a bit of a boost, but it seems like the stream is the way.
Stream is the way. That sounds weird, but also yes, also the stream is the way.
I have really long morning streams. Bad joke, I know. I've just lost about 40 subs. Shit.
Yes, you have. Yes.
Colino9 says, I'm still stuck on Last of Us, and I've started Days Gone. Days Gone is fairly decent. I quite enjoyed Days Gone.
Criminally underrated. I picked it up late last year, and I loved it. I really liked that game. Like, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Again, nothing super groundbreaking. Like, it's still just a zombie game, but yeah, pretty good. Pretty pleased.
I did enjoy the motorbike aspect. I thought that was cool.
Upgrading the bike, customizing it, great.
It was all cool. Like, it's like it was like you're a biker in a zombie apocalypse. I thought that aspect was cool. And I did get Last of Us vibes from that game as well. The way it controlled felt kind of Last of Us-y. Last of Us-y is even a word. Playtendo guy kind of echoes our thoughts. Days Gone is very underrated. It's all to Carl, but yeah, we get the point. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, it's a good old time. Rob's going to bed. Hope he gets a good sleep. Apparently, Rob he loved 1, hated 2. I don't get the hate. Sorry, I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Playtendo guy says Metro Prime trilogy for me. We need to switch versions. See, I love the Metro Prime, but I've only played the first one on the GameCube back in the day. I've
never played any of them.
Oh mate, the first Metro Prime is so good. It's literally it's a first person game, but it's literally like Castlevania, but first person, and you're like this space bounty hunter badass chick called Samus.
I know enough about it. I've just never played them. So I remember when Metro Prime came out. I remember when these games all came out, but it was like, okay, cool. I'll just ignore that.
I mean, it's funny. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like it's funny how I tell people where like I literally growing up as a kid, I skipped the 16-bit generation. I never had a Mega Drive. I never had a Super Nintendo. Friends did, so I did experience them to a point because I had friends that had them, but I never owned them for myself. So in theory, I went from having a Master System I went from Master System to PlayStation, and my mind was like, yeah.
I went from my first console was the Sega Mega Drive, and I went from that to PlayStation. So. Cool. Relatively big jump, but still yeah, I went from playing games like oh god, to be fair, all the games that I ever played on Sega Mega Drive, bar the things that you would expect I would have played on Sega Mega Drive, were just really weird ones that people don't remember, but I have really fun memories of. So I mean, we played Sonic, and we played Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, and all the ones that everyone else played.
All the classics.
But then playing stuff there was a game called Legend of Galahad that me and my brother used to play. Well, I say me and my brother used to play. We tried to attempt to play it, and we were shit. Cannon Fodder, which was a Red Alert sort of game, and I just thought it was very funny watching the guys getting shot. Oh god, we had so much. What else did we have? We had loads of weird games. I remember just getting loads of really weird games when I was growing up.
Did you ever play Another World on the Mega Drive?
The name rings a bell, but no, I don't think so.
It was quite groundbreaking for the time. It had this rotoscoped kind of cinematic cutscenes.
Oh, I know what that is. That's I know exactly what game that is, but I only know it from
Game Grumps.
Yes, I own it from Game
Yeah.
Grumps because it's Mike Ruber.
Yeah. You showed me that video. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
the only
yeah.
that's the only way I know it. It's like Mike Ruber.
Aruba.
Apparently,
Yeah.
that's not even his name, but like they just said that that's his name, and it just stuck. And I love that.
Oh, those guys actually kill me. They really
I
do. So
absolutely
funny.
do love that channel. I absolutely love that channel.
Luke says, I watched 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri the other day in 4K. It was absolutely brilliant film. Loved it. Have you
Nice.
seen it, guys? If so, what are your thoughts? I have
I've
not
seen
seen it, unfortunately. No. Sorry, Luke. We have no thoughts. But I'll put it on the ever
The ever growing
growing
list.
checkout list, because it never ends. We have the quiz master himself, James Miniship, also known as Jim Jam, movies and TV. Thanks for joining the stream, James. Really appreciate it. It's just finished work. Did you get any of the Amazon deals today? Blu-rays for like £2? I didn't get any of the cheapo stuff, but I did get V for Vendetta on 4K for like £13, which is pretty good.
Oof.
Playtime guy says Resident Evil 3 remake was fun, but it was far too short and cut a lot of content.
Yes.
But apparently Capcom didn't develop that in-house and outsourced it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, you could tell. I mean, like, I think like they what they did make was really good, but it was like 6 hours too short at the very least, and that really bummed me out. Like on the first playthrough, I was like, oh, okay, that felt kind of short, and I played through it again, knowing where everything was and what I had to do, and I managed to do it in 2 hours, and I went, that's not a game. I started doing the Angry Joe and started being like 2 hours and
4 hours and 52 minutes. Oh mate, I fucking love Angry Joe.
But like, I like there's some aspects of it that I really liked. Some aspects I really didn't like. I didn't like that the Nemesis encounters were incredibly scripted. I was hoping for like a bit more of like a Mr. X sort of vibe, but just way more dangerous. There's one particular bit that skipped the shit out of me, and you can again watch it on my YouTube. Is when you go to the hospital for the first time and you're playing as, I think you're playing as Carlos at that bit. I can't remember, but you play as both Carlos and Jill, sort of like one after the other. But you're in the hospital with the hunter betas. I can't remember which one they were. The ones that used to, the ones from Resi 1. Like the ones that used to be able to cut your head off with one swipe.
Oh yeah, hunters, yeah.
But you got hunter gammas and hunter betas, I think, because the hunter gammas are like the big frog ones that live in the sewers in Resi 3, and they're gross. But like the other ones, the actual proper hunters. There's a bit, and I swear, like I want to watch it back at some point where I'm playing it and I didn't hear it behind me. I turned around, it was right fucking there, and I did the biggest I've ever done. And I pooed my pants very forcibly. I burnt a hole through my pants. it was that strong.
Mate, do you remember me coming around your house when you used to live where you used to live, like your childhood house? I won't say where, just in case. But yeah, you were showing me Slender Man, and you made me. God. I was like, this looks nothing. What is this walking simulator? It looks like shit. And you were like, okay, you play it then. You play it. I was like, okay, go up there. La la la, get in the notes. La 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 la. And then it's just like the screen starts going fuzzy. I was like, oh, he's around here somewhere. I turn right around and Slender Man's right in my face. I'm just like, ah!
And you're like, fuck. That was like the real that was like the birth of like the online, let's say the online, like the YouTube horror game.
Yeah,
literally like the horror let's plays.
Let's scream at video games for a living kind of thing. That's basically where it started, pretty much.
Absolutely, games like that, and Amnesia and stuff like that. Which I have to say, like, as much as I love the first Amnesia, I'm just really disappointed by the subsequent two.
Really?
I think the last one. What was the last one called again? I literally played it on Rebirth. It was
Yeah.
okay, and it had moments where like it was fucking horrible. Like it was like I was playing going like no 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 no. But I think ultimately like it wasn't all that, and like they did say like, oh, it's all about story, and I liked the story. That was the main thing. But the first Amnesia game is still like in my memories. I'm just like, you can just like I could just hear like the screams and the me panicking and just like shutting the game off. I can see it all now. I'm like hyperventilating when I think about the guys that chase you and you hide in a wardrobe. You're like, please fuck off, go away, go away, go away. And then all of a sudden it will just like grab you and you're like, no, please, not Manus, no.
No, please do not touch me. I'm trying to hide in the cupboard. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
No. Goodbye, friend. Goodbye.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, when I was watching you play Amnesia Rebirth on your streams, I thought the sound design was unbelievable in that game.
Very, very good sound design. Lots of wet suckling noises that I did not like, and
it was very moist. yeah, it was just filth. Filth. PlayStation asks a very interesting question, which I don't think I've got an answer for, but he says, favorite game for each console you currently own.
Oh, that's a good point, considering I own a few at the moment. I would say I'm not going to include PC because I don't count that as a console because it's superior in every way.
Could join us. It descend to godhood.
Oh. So I got PS1. I would say PS1 favorite game is Metal Gear Solid. That's not a difficult thing to say.
I would agree.
PS2.
I would probably say between Metal Gear 3 and Devil May Cry 3.
I'd say, Metal Gear 3, God of War 1, and a weird one, I guess, would be probably The Thing. I love that game. Oh, no.
That's a good one.
Not that game. Resident Evil 4. Forgot about Resident Evil 4. PS2 game. For PS3...
those are some noises, Fraser.
I'd say
some noises, man.
Red Dead 1, Last of Us 1. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Like my brain's just fuzzing up.
Yeah.
I can't think what else. For PS4, I guess I would probably say. God, again, I'm not sure. God of War again. God of War or Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us Part 2. One of those two.
Well, I own a PS4, and in my cupboard I've got a boxed up original Xbox. So PS4, my favorite game on the PS4 is Last of Us Part 2. Mm-hmm. Coming in close second on that console would be Doom 2016. I love that game so much. On the original Xbox, it's probably like something like Ninja Gaiden was really good.
Ninja Gaiden is supposed to be totally hard. Anyway.
Oh my God! You think that's hard? I'm just at a tutorial level. That's next level over there. Worship. Oh God, help me! God can help you now. Hey, bitch! I'm a strategy guy. You come.
If no one knows what Jason's going on about, Ego Raptor used to do these like amazing animated things back in like the mid noughties called like the Awesome series, and this is like Awesome Gaiden. And it's basically just him, like, when he was playing games as a kid and being like, oh my God, it's amazing. And just like, yeah. But he's one part of the Game Grumps. So it's worth checking out the channel if you just like two guys just fucking, like, going off on one on games. It's very, very funny. But, like, he used to make those, like, Like basically, his thing with Awesome Gaiden was that it was the hardest fucking game ever, and
It was though. It was. It was Dark Souls before Dark Souls.
the only one, the only Ninja Gaiden I remember ever playing was the one that was on 360, and that was
Ninja Gaiden 2.
I'm fairly sure it's got a Ninja Gaiden Black or something like that. I can't remember what it's called.
That was on the original Xbox as well, though.
Yeah, I can't remember. I never owned an original Xbox, so I just remember playing. In fact, I played Ninja Gaiden at your house, so it was one that you owned.
It probably was the original, not the original because that was an NES game, but the Xbox remake Ninja Gaiden Black. Yeah. Really
I
good.
remember being like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking hard. What is going on?"
It was literally Dark Souls before Dark Souls. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Platino guy, I wouldn't say it's controversial. I think that's fairly fair. Like,
Yeah, I think they're pretty overrated in general. I mean, like, I like the competitive aspect of it, I guess. Like, I like the online stuff, but the actual story modes are always just like, it's the same shit again and again and again. Again, I guess you could say the same for the online stuff.
I generally think, I think this is my personal opinion. I think Call of Duty died a death after Black Ops 2. I think Black Ops 2 was the last good one we got, personally. And then I think after that, it just went to shit.
I don't remember which ones were after that, so I couldn't tell you which one I played.
You had Ghosts that came out. It was the first.
That was terrible. I had that on PS4
game. Yeah, it was awful. I hated it. Then you had like Advanced Warfare with Kevin Spacey as the bad guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Didn't Kevin Spacey hasn't been like come out these are nonce? So now he's like no one's hiring him or something.
Yes, exactly that.
Prick.
Yeah,
what an absolute slag. Anyway, what was I talking about? The Call of Duties. What come out after Advanced Warfare?
I don't remember.
Was it like Infinite Warfare? That the most
Infinite
downvoted, one of the most downvoted trailers of all time. Stuff like that. I think it was. Because it was all like trying to be Destiny with all like the power suits and shit.
Yeah.
Going into space and stuff.
It's space times.
Yes, mate. We're going fucking to space dickheads because fucking franchises, mate. When they go to like the 30th thing and they go to space.
Fucking laser beams.
Like fucking Jason X, mate. It goes to space, dickhead. Every franchise goes to space, mate. It's inevitable, dickheads.
Not Jason X.
Anyway, let's move on from my bullshit.
Yep.
But then the guy says, "What was the film that scared you the most as a kid?"
Gremlins.
That's what I was gonna say.
There's something about Gremlins when you're a kid because I think it's like I think the bit that got me was it's the noises they used to make, like not like when they used to like speak, but like when they used to just make noises. I just hated the noises they made. It used to freak me out.
Yeah, because that film starts off as like it's kind of cutesy movie, like, oh, look at little Gizmo, cute, yeah. Oh no, Paul Walter, what's going on? Oh no, these seem a bit mischievous. Oh, they've hung the dog up with Christmas lights. What a bunch of dickheads! Did you feed them after midnight? Do you know what? I always remember being a kid, and the bit that scared me the most was when like Billy finds out they've hatched, and he's like on the phone like, "Mum, they've hatched. Get out of the house." It's like, oh no! He's like cuts the line. It's like, do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? A song. Yeah, that that bit always creeped me out because she's like creeping around the house, and it's just like, get out of my kitchen.
Yeah, a bit super violent.
Yeah, what do I fancy for dinner? Oh, microwaved gremlin.
They sweet that.
I love that film. I actually love that film. I think the sequel's superior in every way, but I love Gremlins 1. Anyway, have you seen Gremlins 2?
Yeah, I watched it. I've watched it at yours, and I watched it last year for Christmas.
I love that film. It's literally alluded to. It's literally like Warner Brothers is like, "Oh, Joe Dante, we want you to make a sequel." He's like, "Oh, I want creative control." Okay, cool. Here's $50 million. Go nuts. And he obviously consequently went nuts. I love that film. I love it so much. Badoosh was looking on Amazon now, and I can't see 4K's 2 for 2. I don't think MCU was in a 2 for 25 deal. I just think there was a general selection of 4K's in 2 for 25, but I think there were some reductions on the MCU 4Ks. But a lot of the deals I got from secondhand information, so someone would send me a link or this, so I didn't actually look myself. I just got a bunch of links from people saying, look at this. How cheap is that? That's a good deal. That's great. Awesome. V for Vendetta, got to buy it. That was basically what the Amazon. The Amazon deal for me wasn't Amazon. It's all on Facebook. So I just kept getting links from people. PlayStation guy says, PC Master Race for the win. Join us and ascend to godhood. Fucking love it. Oh, it's so funny.
It is the way. Must do it.
Favorite Final Fantasy? I really like 12. PlayStation guy.
12 is underrated. I'm very typical, and I love 7. 7 is my favorite, but I loved 8, 9, 10, and I like 15.
I'm a bit weird.
I like all of them really, apart from 13, because I thought 13 was a big pile of shit.
Are you sure that's the same game? Because I thought that was a different game called Final Hallway, because it's literally a hallway and the whole game's a hallway.
Final hallway.
Anyway, I'm a bit weird. Like my favorite because it's just nostalgia would be Final Fantasy VIII. It's the first Final Fantasy I played, but I would argue the best Final Fantasy would be Final Fantasy VI for story and mechanics. Everything 6 is awesome.
Not actually played any of the ones before 7, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I've got a couple of them on. I've got a couple of them on iOS. Weirdly enough, just because they were on sale, I was like, "Oh, awesome! I'll buy them." And just turned out to be like, I just hate playing on my phone. So
yeah, it's the worst. I hate it. I hate touch.
So we'll probably get around to playing some of those older ones, but I'm not like super keen. Apparently, 1 and 2 aren't worth playing, but 3 is really good. And I feel like 5 is supposed to be quite good, and 6 is good, and 4 I can't remember much about that one.
Yeah, I think I had like, because I swear this is me trying to remember as a kid, right? I had Final Fantasy 8, and then I went backwards because I really liked Final Fantasy. I got Final Fantasy 7, and then they had a standalone Final Fantasy 6 on PlayStation because I remember it had like revamped CGI cutscenes and stuff. Then they had a Origins collection, which was 1 to 5. So you could get 1 to 8 and 9, of course, when it came out, but you could have 1 to 9 on PS1 because I remember the compilation 1 to 5, 6 on its own, 7, 8, 9. 9's really good though as well. I like 9 quite a lot.
9's great. Everyone loves a bit of 9.
Yes, mate. Platon the guy asks thoughts on Death Stranding. I absolutely love the game. Such a baffling idea of a game as you just walk from A to B. Though the baby stuff was weird. I saw the trailer. I've seen gameplay footage. I thought it looked a bit shit. To be fair, really just doesn't look like my cup of tea at all.
I'm waiting for it to go down in price before I pick it up. But I didn't want to buy it on console just because it feels like the sort of game that would benefit from a more powerful machine running it. And I would call myself a Kojima fan, but I'm like, okay, I'll wait till it goes down in price. Like if I can get it for a tenner, I'll pick it up then. That's cool.
That is cool. Platinum guy says, Nintendo guy. I can't talk now. Nintendo guy says Ninja Gaiden trilogy is coming out next month on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Cool. I would love to get that, but I want to get the Mass Effect trilogy remaster. But I need money first, so I will probably get that at some point.
Yeah, I'd like to get the. I think that's one of my next purchases. I want to get the Mass Effect trilogy. I want to play through them again. Like I like the idea that I can play them all in one, and it will. I think I'm ready to play through those again because it's been a very long. Like the last time I played through any of those was when 3 came out, and that was 2011, 2012,
12 maybe.
Yeah, I feel like 2 came out in 2010 and 3 came out in 2012 or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, something like that.
Playtinder Guy asks, favorite Christopher Lee film?
Scars of Dracula, I think.
Mine would be Horror Express.
Ooh, interesting.
Really
choice.
good film.
I'm a
Really
big
good film.
fan of like the old Hammer horror stuff. So there's a lot of good films that he was part of. He had some weird ones, like when he was what was the name of the film? The film where he was Rasputin. I think it's called the Madman Rasputin. That was a weird one. But I'd say Scars of Dracula is probably my favorite. I liked all of the ones where he plays Dracula. Well, I mean, I say all of the ones. I mean, there's a couple of really duff ones, but that was a good one. Was he in Devil Rides Out? I can't remember, but that was.
I don't think I've seen that, to be honest.
It's very good. That's a
There's a lot
good
of Hammer horror
Yes.
stuff that I've not seen.
Man, I've got the whole collection. I said the
Yeah.
whole collection, but I got a lot of them. Yes, he was in Devil Rides Out, and that's one of my favorite Hammer horrors for sure.
Cool. There is a film that I really want to see because it was one of my dad's favorite movies. It doesn't have Christopher Lee, but it should have had him in. So basically, it's called The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
Yes, I know the one.
And they recast Dracula, so it's not Christopher Lee, but it should have been. And you've got because consequently, it's got Peter Cushing in it as well as the main protagonist. So that's a film that I want to see. But there's a lot of people that I've spoke about it too that said the fact that Christopher Lee's not in it is kind of puts a bad taste in people's mouths with that film because they think that he should have been Dracula in that movie because a lot of the films that have Peter Cushing and Dracula and Christopher Lee are like they're always the pairing. They're a good pair all the time.
Yeah, they're a great pairing. Like they were like the Hammer horror pairing. You needed them. Peter Cushing is just great person to have in those films. Yeah, rest in peace for both of them.
I tell you what, man, like I watched Horror Express. Horror Express is like the thing on the train. It's fucking awesome. And like I tell you what, man, like you know, Christopher Lee is fucking. He's a dashing gentleman, isn't he? He fucking looks the part. It looks good.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a great actor. They're both great actors as well. They're just so suave and like, yeah. Have you seen Horror Express? It's such a good movie.
No, I haven't seen it. I'll add it to the list.
I highly recommend it. You should pick up the Arrow Blu-ray because it's one of the best looking Blu-rays I own. It looks immaculate.
I mean, I'll watch it first, then decide if I want to buy it.
Lucas found the 4K deals. Awesome.
Nice one, man.
Southend Arts Council. Hi guys, how are you going? You're going good, man. It's going all good.
Going well. Thank you.
Thanks for joining the stream. Plating the guy says, ever played the Dragon Quest series? Fantastic old school RPG with a quirky British voice actor. I've only ever played Dragon Quest 8 on PS2, which is really good. And all the characters are designed by Akira Toriyama, so it looks kind of like a Dragon Ball RPG, but it's not. But it's got the same art style as Dragon Ball, and I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan, so that's what kind of attracted me to it. Is that a no from you?
I've not played any of them. So
that's fair.
I could not give you. I mean, I can answer. Ever played them? No, but I don't know. They're not really on my radar. Like I'm very. I don't know. Like I don't really. When it comes to games, I have to really be invested in like the idea of buying one before I buy one, and they've just never struck me as something I've wanted to buy. So
I am. When I was growing up and when I was into PlayStation, I was very much really into the JRPG turn-based, RPG games. As I've just kind of got over it, so they don't attract me as much anymore.
Yeah,
don't attract me as much anymore.
I understand that.
Because I know that Dragon Quest 11 came out on PS4, and I'm just like, cool. I mean, it looks cool, but I'm not going to play it. So,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not grabbed my attention. Sorry.
Southend Arts Council says I tried to get into Death Stranding, but it was tedious for me. Yeah, it doesn't look at all for me.
See how much it is now. Very intrigued. Death Stranding, £17.69. Okay, not too bad.
They also say was playing half of Alex with Oculus Rift. There's a bit where you are in the dark. It freaked me out. And then I took them off the headset, and the actual room was in the dark. Really freaky.
Oh yeah, no thanks.
That game looks amazing though. It looks fantastic.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, like, I'd love an Oculus or HTC Vive or something like that, but I don't really have the room. Let alone, I mean, if I put it in the other room, in the front room, I have plenty of room, but like that's communal, so I can't really do that. Yeah, I'm sure I could, but also they're like £600. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, my brother's got a HTC Vive, but he never uses it. So he paid all that money out and he doesn't even use it. But he did buy Doom VFR for me ages ago. I've not played it, so maybe I should check it out.
Do it. Yeah, it sounds fun. That sounds like it'd be fun.
Just throw it out there, Fraser. Platinum Guy says Death Stranding is £4 in Tesco's.
That's good, except that I need it on PC, not on PlayStation.
I don't know if he. I'm guessing he means PlayStation. I don't know.
I would assume so. Yeah. Like if it's on console, I don't really want to run it on console. I want to play it on PC.
Is it out on PC?
Yes. Yeah, that's where I was literally just looking.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, $17.69, which is still like not a bad price.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not like enough for me to want to get it right now.
Favorite Bond film?
Thunderball or Goldeneye?
I don't even want to give an answer because I've not seen them all. I've literally just got the box set a little while ago.
You don't need to see them all. Some of them are so shit.
I got the box set, so I've got to watch through them all.
Yeah, watch through them, man. Like, I've got a ranking of all of them. It'd be interesting to see if you can compare. I'd be very interested to see if you could make a ranking and we could have a little comparison. It'd be a very long video if you want to record it because there's like 25 films now.
I remember someone. It's funny. I remember somebody asking me, "Oh, you're going to do a Godzilla ranking?" And I'm just like, "That's 35 movies. That's going to be a really, really long fucking video." But I probably will do it at some point. I think it has to be done, right? Godzilla ranking.
I agree. I think you should definitely do a Godzilla ranking.
That'd be fun, or not? Depends. Depends.
I've seen a very interesting question come up from Playtendo.
Playtendo guy, what do you think of the Batman Arkham series? Loved City and Asylum. Night looked great, but the Batmobile was so. Arkham Origins is kind of underrated and needs a remaster. My favorite is Asylum. Sometimes when games go open world, it kind of puts me off a little bit. So I liked that Asylum was more a self-contained, semi-open world game. I actually enjoyed it more. City is still good, but I just think Asylum's better. Night, I generally quite liked Night, but I agree the Batmobile was probably the worst part of that game.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Origins, I liked the narrative of Origins. I thought it was interesting and more kind of early, kind of like year one Batman almost. But yeah, I am surprised they didn't include Origins in the Arkham collection they released. I thought it was a bit strange.
Yeah, that is a bit strange.
It feels like WB are just burying that game because it wasn't made by Rocksteady.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels like it was not bad. I mean, like I liked Origins was based on the Nightfall comic, which was a really good comic. So I'm interested to see. I was interested to see it. So
coolio. Southend Arts Council says Oculus Rift is only £299. Half-Life Alex is the best VR game out there. Cool.
That's cheaper than I remember. That's pretty good.
Pretty good price, cheaper than the PlayStation 5.
True, but I also there's so many horror games I don't want to play in VR because I'm scared. I do want to play. There's a couple of like gladiatorial fighting games that I want to play because you can like rip off people's jaws, and I'm like, yes, that sounds like the sort of fun that I want. Yeah.
See, I've got PlayStation VR, but I have it boxed away because it's just like for me, the novelty ran out really quickly. After I played all the best kind of titles at the time. Bear in mind, I bought it like 2 years ago, and I've basically run its course. That Until Dawn game, but I forget what it's called, Rush of Blood.
Yes,
that was really good. That was probably the best experience on the VR, on PlayStation VR in particular, for me. But yeah, I don't know. I remember when VR was being built up to be like the future of gaming, but it's not. It's a fun little novelty. I couldn't play a whole like 100 hours in Skyrim in VR. I couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, VR for me is like, it's like those little kind of, you pull out your phone to play a phone game. You want that, couple of minutes or what, a 5-minute game. I see VR like that. Like, I'll stick the headset on, play a game for 5 minutes. You've had enough, kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I feel like VR is not quite where I want it to be right now. Like, it feels like it'd be a waste of money. I'd rather save my money for when it's a bit more immersive, when it's a bit more of like a full experience. Like, yeah, like more like the Matrix. You're all in. Like you're all in for it. So when you get shot, you get shot for real. not that bad, but like, it's a better experience. That's more what I'm interested in. So like, I want, like, when I'm in my 60s and 70s, if gaming has advanced so much that I can just sit in like a suit and just be like for like days and be like, this is the best thing ever, and slowly die. That'd be what I want.
Yeah. No. VR is good, but I would say VR is good in bite-sized chunks. I couldn't sit there for an hour and play a game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do it. Playtendo asks, you specifically, Fraser, least favorite Bond film.
That's a very, very good question. Die Another Day is up there. That is one of the worst films I've ever seen. That's one of the worst films I've ever seen, let alone Bond films. I would also say there's a couple of I tell you what, that one's really, really bad because Pierce Brosnan aged rapidly in his tenure as Bond, and he looked terrible in that last film, let alone the fact that they had an invisible car, they had one of the worst CGI jobs ever, and a host of other things that were a problem. And on top of that, there was also loads of different things. But one of the things for me was actually eras of Bond that really, really, like, there's a couple of eras I didn't like. Like the Sean Connery stuff aged badly, so it feels a little bit misogynistic. But honestly, you know what it is? It's the Roger Moore stuff. Some of those films are really good. Like Live and Let Die is amazing. But there's a couple of them that are just not good. There's a bit in, I think it's View to a Kill, which was one of his last films, where he gets into bear in mind he's like 60 at this point. In real life, the actor is about 60. And there's a bit where he gets into bed with Macy. Not Macy. What's her name? Really, really, really specific looking black lady. I can't remember her name. View to a Kill. And it is the cringiest scene I've ever seen. It's just like, why? Grace Jones, Macy. Oh no, her name is Mayday. That's why. He gets into bed with her, and it's just like the cringiest scene ever because you're watching like this 60-year-old man get into bed with like a 20-year-old supermodel, and like it's supposed to be all like, yeah, it's Bond. He can get anyone. It's like, It's so cringy. It's so cringy, and it's just like this stuff doesn't happen. Um, but you've also got things like there's a couple of films like the end of certain actors' tenures as Bond was really bad. So yeah, Sean Connery's last film was Diamonds Are Forever, and that was yeah. Yeah, I think Roger Moore's was A View to a Kill, and then you had Roger. Roger, what was his name? I'm sure it's Roger. I can't remember. Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton. I liked Timothy Dalton, and he was only in 2 films, and I was like, why? And then he had Pierce Brosnan, and I loved Pierce Brosnan. I loved Goldeneye, and I loved Tomorrow Never Dies, but then it just started getting a bit funny from that point onwards. It's like, ugh.
Wasn't Timothy Dalton in License to Kill?
License to Kill, yeah, License to Kill, and Living Daylights.
See, I always thought he only was in one for some reason.
Yes.
Ooh. I think he's the least remembered Bond, though, in theory, right?
That will probably go to George Lazenby, who was only in 1 Bond film.
What one's that?
He was on. Which one was he? He was in on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah, which was that was one that right in the middle. They had one. He was in 1 film, and the reason they didn't rehire him is because he grew a beard. I think in between that and the next film, I think that's why they didn't rehire him, and they just replaced him with. I think they brought back Sean Connery for a film. I think that's when they did Diamonds Are Forever. I can't remember. I watched all of them last year. I think no, it was a couple of years ago. I literally sat and watched through every single one of them and did my rankings and stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I guess I got something to sort of look forward to.
Yes, I would love to hear. I'd love to hear more about that. Unfortunately, I've been on them for way longer than I thought I would, so I might ask if it is okay if we start to bring our Streamaroonoos to a slight close.
Yeah, okay, cool. Just quickly go through them. Quantum Solace for them is crap.
Yes.
Ever played Injustice 1 and 2? Yep, I love those games.
Fantastic.
What popular film series could you not get into?
Saw.
Harry Potter. VR's a cool idea, but unfortunately, most games feel like tech demos. I agree. Grace Jones, yep, they're cool. Diamonds Are Forever wasn't great for Sean Connery, but absolutely loved The Spy Loved Me, and For Your Eyes Only for Roger Moore. Thing is, Richard Moore was far too old, and it's so unbelievable he could get these women and pull off these stunts. Roger Moore was fantastic in the 1960s TV show The Saint. Very much like a TV Bond series. Cool. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, it's very underrated in my opinion. It's one half romantic film that developed Bond's character, and the other is a spy film.
Yeah, yes.
Although it wasn't Sean Connery's last. Sean Connery's last spin as Bond.
Never Say Never Again. Which was Never Say Never Again. I think a remake of Thunderball. One of them was a remake of Thunderball, but I can't remember if it was that one or if that was Diamonds Are Forever. I can't remember which one it was. One of them was like a remake of Thunderball, and it wasn't nearly as good. Thunderball is one. Like I said, Thunderball is one of my favorites. That and Goldeneye. Goldeneye has like the nostalgia. Thunderball is just like it's Bond to a T. Loved it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yes, thank you very much.
Cheers for the catch up. Awesome. Thank you everyone that's joined the stream tonight. It's been a good old laugh as always. Please be sure to subscribe to the Ram of Hammers. Apparently he hammers rams into motherboards and it goes wrong, but you know it's all fun.
I made a mistake once upon a time and I'm paying for it now.
But yeah, be sure to subscribe to RAMHAMMER over at twitch.tv/RAMHAMMER Gaming, and obviously if you just type in RAMHAMMER on YouTube, I'm sure you will find his channel with no problem. Give him a sub, give him a follow on Twitch. I'm sure you would be delighted by his content. He has the best screams of fear you will ever hear in a video game.
Yes,
anyway, it's been a great little stream. Fraser, thanks for jumping on. We've been talking about this for a while, so it's cool to have you on the STREAMAROONOOS. As always, thank you everyone that's jumped on the stream tonight. If you don't mind, give the video a like, Roonoos. It helps the channel out big time. If you're not subscribed to me, I'd appreciate a little sub of Roonoo. That'd be cool. As always, one little last comment, because why not? Luke says it's because Arkham Knight and Arkham Asylum and Arkham City was made by Rockstar these 2 years, but Arkham just moved. But yeah, but still not a reason to neglect that one, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining in. I have been Jason. I've been joined by Fraser, also known as RAMHAMMER. Go sub to him. Go follow him on all the socials and whatnot. As always, I have been Jason, and I am going to play some Outriders, because why not? See you there, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Bye.